What's going on, good people? Happy Saturday, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good start to their weekend. Welcome to the family reunion, the New York Giants family reunion, late night Giants talk with your host, Big Dash Knows. What's going on, everybody? Before we get started, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Just give me a thumbs up or just tell me that I'm good in the comment section. But I see everybody already in the building. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. It'll let the algorithm know that we in the building. And the algorithm will let other Giants fans know that we in the building. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Thank you, Don Devine, for the thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Fabian, thank you, Re-Up. Thank you. Kelvin, thank you very much. Was good, everybody. You know I got to do a quick roll call, man. I'm excited, man. The free agency recap. Obviously, last week was the preview. This week went about as, I'm not going to say as good as it can get, but I'm very pleased with some of the moves that we made. A lot of the moves that we made, of course, still got some holes that need to be addressed. We're going to talk about that tonight, but we are going to review almost every signing. And for the people that watched the Darnell Mooney update or breaking news, whatever, I ended up changing my graphics, updated my graphics. I had time to do it. So the graphics will be up to date as much as possible, at least up to date, at least to the last hour, 2 hours. But shout out to everybody. Daniel was here early in the morning. As soon as I set up the live, Dan had a comment. He said, would you trade back to 9 to 10, get the Lane, cornerback from LSU, get a second-round pick, get Anthony Hill Jr. and a wide receiver or a DT? Would you consider that? I consider all options. I will say this, though, Daniel. We talking about free agency today. If we got a little bit of time later, we could jump into the draft. Actually, there'll be a section where we talk about needs still. But want to talk about free agency, but I'm with the trade back. I'm still with the trade back. Obviously, I'm still heavy on the Sonny Styles train. I want to do that, but again, we're going to talk about free agency, and then we're going to run into the draft soon. Mike Fanta is in the building. What's going on? My man 340 is in the building. Mike Fanta said, I will bleed blue for life. Me too. DeMarco Forbes is in the building. He says Evan Neal contract is zero guarantee. Yeah, they got him. Nothing's guaranteed for Evan Neal, so he got to be on his best behavior, and also hopefully he performs. Man. Listen, I'm already done with Evan Neal. If he can change some people's mind on the way out, more power to him. I'm not gonna hate him. Stacy, what's going on? Stacy says, Dash, blessing to you, fam. I know what you want to hear. I know you don't want to hear this. Don't be surprised if Love is drafted at 5. Harbaugh wants a punishing running game. Listen, we'll talk about that. I promise. A little bit later, we'll talk about the draft. The Giants love. Mike Fanta says our run game is going to be unstoppable. Giants fan, that's what's up. Jarius in the building. Shin is in the building. Corinne Rock, what's going on? That dark friend in the building. Kelvin again in the building. High Side is in the building. Shout out to everybody. My man Michael Knight is in the building. Shout out to Jersey. Densley in the building. What's going on, everybody? I apologize if I don't get to everybody. Luann is in the building. What's going on, Luann? Got to shout out to day ones. Real G in the building. John David is in the building. Money Mike is in the building. Everybody's in the building tonight. It's a family reunion. It's a family reunion. Shout out to everybody. My man Paul in the building. Y'all guys are in here today. Mr. Lester, what's going on? Deb is in the building. C. Mully, Don Devine again. Fabian, what's going on? Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Okay, I think if I missed you, I apologize. Independent Outside in the building. Ron Beasy in the building. I'm trying to get to everybody, man. Y'all gonna let me start this thing, man? Rev, what's going on, Rev? Always a pleasure to see Rev in the building. What's going on, Rev? Miguel is also in the building. Big brother in the building. What's going on, big bro? How's everybody doing over there? Sending everybody my love. JDJ is in the building. No remorse, no regrets. Shout out to everybody, man. He says, I just saw some clown disrespecting Brian Burns season, calling it fake. Come on, man. He ain't do nothing fake. He actually calmed down a little bit because he was running it. He was number one. And then Myles Garrett just went crazy for 4 weeks. I think Myles Garrett had like 13 sacks in 4 weeks and it was over. But it is what it is. My man Clinton in the building. What's going on, Clinton? Mr. Fast, there's a lot of y'all in the building tonight. We got to get started, man. Shout out to my man Prime. Member for 11 months. He says, salute Mr. Dash. Trade back. Vaporizer in the building. He said, Dash, the draft can't come soon enough. Giants killing this free agency. And if I had a gut feeling for what will happen, I would say they're bulking up the trenches. Linebacker, secondary. Listen, man, I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. because the draft might be ugly in a good way too. When I say ugly, I mean trenches. We might go trenches heavy. We might not have a choice. I'm offensive line and defensive line. We might not have a choice, man. We might not have a choice. Shout out to my man Simeon with the $5 super chat. Said that Big Dash was good. What's going on, Simeon? How you doing, man? Thank you for the love and support. My man, that dark friend said, hit that like button. Thank you again for the member for 11 months, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the people joining the Big Blue Nation. We're going to get started in a second. There's a lot of love being shown in the building. I want to make sure, I get as many people as possible. My man Wills is in the building. Elijah in the building said, can Darnell Mooney catch, though? He catch better than sleep. I heard that about Calvin Austin, heard that about Darnell Mooney, but both of these guys have been more productive. Well, Darnell Mooney had one season where he was almost 1,000 yards, so they've been productive. They made plays consistently. Even Calvin Austin made plays for the Steelers. Scored a touchdown against us. I know that much. D Nice in the building. DeMarion in the building. Montague, what's going on? Says Salute G Nation. That's a fact. Shout out to Vauxhall in the building. Said Dash, what's good? What's going on? D Illa. Shout out to my man D Illa in the building. Yo, it's a lot of y'all, man. We're gonna get this thing started because we'll never get a chance to get started. I don't know how long we hanging to. We're gonna hang for a while. Pause. We're gonna hang out for a while tonight, man. Smooth operator said, Dash, I really think Harbaugh going love at 5. It's a possibility for sure. The only thing like I said, I got nothing against Love. It's just the chemistry of the backfield with Cam Scatterbo. You get somebody like Love, he's probably going to take about 80% of the carries, and the rest of these guys talking about 20%. And again, do you want Cam Scatterbo only getting like 5 to 6 touches a game? That's my only pushback. I know how dynamic Love is. I know that Harbaugh's going for a physical style of offense, though, with the fullback. But we're going to get into that. Again, let me go ahead and put the graphics up, man. Shout out to everybody, again, that's in the building for sure. Again, I wanted to get all the way down to the bottom. That way I can keep up with the chat. Let me go and see if I can put the comments in and then also try to switch this screen up. Give me just a moment. All right, there we go. We're going to go right down the line, right? We're going to go right down the line. If you guys feel like it, because I'm going to ask you guys to contribute in the chat. This is the way too early how I'm feeling right now, grades for the signings. Obviously, the number one priority for me was right tackle was Jermaine Illuminor. That's the first name you see on this list, Jermaine Illuminor, right? Jermaine Illuminor. What grade are y'all giving Jermaine Illuminor? Just real quick, man. We're not going to wait for everybody. We're not going to wait for everybody to put their grade in there. But just quickly, for those that want to participate, the re-signing of Jermaine Illuminor, also the price for Jermaine Illuminor. That's the part that was the most surprising for me, is the price. That was a fantastic deal for Jermaine Illuminor. So we got I see it already. You guys are going crazy. We got A's, B's, A+, A's, B's, B+, B+, A. I see you guys. I take it was a good signing. Listen, man, when I was sweating a little bit, man. I didn't know what was going to happen. It seemed like the New York Giants were dragging their feet just a little bit. It seemed like it was turning into the New York Ravens a little bit, because all of the first signings were like Ravens players. But we were waiting on, like, come on, man. We got to get this Jermaine Illuminor deal done. And it's like, okay, well, we got to find a backup plan if Jermaine Illuminor leaves. When that news came across the board saying Jermaine Illuminor was re-signed, then I saw the price. I was like, yeah. The price was right. He seemed like he's super duper happy too, even though the price was way less than I thought he was going to be asking for. For some people, it's right where it needs to be. Is he the top of the top when it comes to right tackles? No, he's not. But he's very, very solid for us, man. And shout out to my man Bookend Tackles. I don't know if he's in here yet, but that's exactly what we got right now for the near future. Bookend Tackles. Thomas on the left side, Illuminor on the right side. I'm happy with that, and it seems like the chat is happy with that too. Dealer said I'll be back. Well, I'll be here. I'll be here when you get back, Dealer. High Side says, love that Mooney was released by the Falcons, therefore he doesn't hurt the Giants in the comp pick formula. That's a great nugget right there. Thank you very much. I was not paying attention to the comp pick formula. Right now, we still might be good. I thought that I guess the rumor is that we're holding on by a thread when it comes to that a fourth round compensatory pick in the 2027 draft. I saw some reports saying that it all depends on what Ricard does. If he hits all of his incentives, we might not get that comp pick. Also, if we continue to sign players that do count against the compensatory pick formula, then we might lose out on that too. But again, I'm not worried about that right now. But I do understand. I do understand. I saw somebody said, Will says the price was better than expected. We kicked it. Well, we kicked it to a what? To an A. Okay, that's what did it. His price kicked the grade to an A. Okay. I liked it, man. Like I said, that was number one priority for me going in was Jermaine Illuminor. I was happy we got that done. I think he's solid. I don't think he's the top right tackle in the league like he believes, but if he believes it, I'm running with him. I'm riding with him. He's a giant for the next couple of years. John May says Jermaine was probably the best value signing in the entire NFL. I think so. I think he can hold that tie. You know what? Who was it? Was it Carolina Panthers got Devin Lloyd? That price was fantastic too for Devin Lloyd because we thought Devin Lloyd was going to be 20 plus. He signed a pretty good contract with Carolina, so I think that was a good one too. But $13 million for a starting right tackle, quality right tackle, fantastic. I see the names in the chat. I'm gonna try my best to keep this thing in order. I see you guys. I mean, Stacey already talking about Pinnock. Yeah. All right, so let's be quick. Patrick Ricard, fullback. Let's do that really quickly. You guys got the grades on him. Patrick Ricard. Now we're going to Patrick Ricard. Giants going back to a traditional style of run heavy football, the hardball way. Back to what we used to have with the Rhinoceros. Even what was Madison? Two back in the day. We had a fullback for the most part. I'm happy with that. Paid him a lot of money, made him the highest paid fullback in the league, but he is the top fullback in the league. So really quickly, Patrick Ricard, what we like about Patrick Ricard? Shout out to my man, Coach Ward in the building. He says we fill in the roster with competent veterans, certified ballers, Ravens, Patriots way of filling holes and competing as they build. Now, that's a fact, man. A lot of people are not as happy with the moves that were being made. It just depends on how you look at it. Like the New York Giants, yes, flashy. That's what you want. High price free agents. That's what you want. The condition that the New York Giants are in, even right now, when you look at the roster, and I got a couple different graphics I'm gonna put up throughout the stream. There's still some holes. There's still a lot of places where we can improve, but we did make some good moves when it comes to adding depth to the roster. It's not just about the starting 11; it's about the people behind it too, and having better backup and better depth is one way to get it going, especially in a year where you don't have as many draft picks in the top 100. So you got to be smart in how you spend your money. Now, I still need to figure out who the right guard is going to be for sure. I still want to find out if there's a defensive tackle that's out there that we can pick up too, but we'll see what happens though. My man J9 says, what's your prediction on Scat coming back? 100%. I'm no fan of drafting any running back so high like most have us projected to get love. I'm not with the draft. I mean, just full transparency. I'm not with the getting Jeremiah Love at 5. I'm not with it. It feels very familiar. It feels like deja vu a little bit. I would say that even looking at Jeremiah Love and then going back and thinking about Saquon Barkley was way more dynamic to me than Jeremiah Love, but that might just be my bias. But Saquon was it, and then we saw what you need more than a running back. We saw even Jeremiah Love with Notre Dame. Was it enough to carry Notre Dame to a championship? No, and that's not a knock on Jeremiah Love. I'm just saying, position of value. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris in the building. What's going on, Joe? He says, you as Darius Alexander. I'm tired of this. Man, listen, we got a lot of people in here today. And I'm pretty sure if we put it to a vote, you would get outvoted. I do not look like Darius Alexander, not even a little bit. That's the crazy part. But it is what it is, Joe. You know how it is. Still got the love and respect. And you was right still. I'm going to keep telling you was right about the whole Russell Wilson thing. You was dead right. I'm going to give you your flowers with that every time, for sure. Pat gets an AAA plus. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, yeah. Well, hold on. What did he say? Vaporizer said when Ricard was blocking for Henry was going A. Nah, for real. I like that pickup. A lot of people they got the mock-up pictures now where they got Ricard, blocking for Scatterable. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Simeon says too much money. Even though he's the highest paid fullback, what is it, like $4.5 million? When you really think about it, $4.5 million to be the best at what you do in the league. Like, even we got the highest paid punter now too. Highest paid punter, highest paid fullback. It is. Listen, this is Harbaugh's team now. We got to just adjust to it. Tony the Ghost says a C plus. I'm assuming that's for Ricard. You got to tell me something else, Tony. I'm not a C plus. I need to hear something else. I need another comment from you, Tony. You got a C plus for him. Oh, here we go. Joe, what you got? You is Darius. I'm sick of your lies. Listen, man. I'll take that Darius Alexander check right now for sure. Instead of talking Giants football, playing Giants football, yeah, absolutely. Especially for that check. Luann says, I want Styles. Yeah. Love looks slow. Love is not slow. He ran that 4.3. He solidified himself. Too. All right, Isaiah Likely, tight end, receiving tight end, big slot is what we calling him now. He's going to be the one that should be getting all the targets that Wandell took with him to Tennessee. In a perfect world, that's how that works. Isaiah Likely, really quickly. Isaiah Likely, how do y'all feel about Isaiah Likely? High side says 4.5 million is nothing with a $300 million. Yeah, I mean, he's the highest paid, but again, he's only making 4.5, and then the punter's highest paid, and I believe his contract is similar, 4.5. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I do have my notebook, but I don't think I wrote the numbers down. Excited no matter what. Let's see. Shout out to Re-Up Rebag, $1.99 super chat says, our Darius Washington is a beast. We're gonna get there. We gonna get there for sure. That, yeah, I watched, and shout out to Giants Nation show. Shout out to Bobby Skinner with all of the breakdowns, player breakdowns. I was watching those too. I don't think he did one on Darius Washington though, or either when I was looking, I didn't see if he did one on our Darius Washington. But yeah, he is physical to be the size that he is. Coach Ward with the $5 super chat says Harbaugh not co-signing none of this running back talk. The past will always predict the future. He never drafted a running back that high ever. Coach Ward, you think it's offensive line? You think it's O-line? Let me know, Coach Ward. Do you think it's O-line? Let me know. Let me know. Shout out to my man Coach Ed in the building. I knew you was gonna tell me. I saw it. I saw the some of the highlights of the game, the Plainfield game. I saw my man catch that nice little dunk off the assist. I saw that. He says, Big Dash, as the thing would say, it's clobbering time. Getting back to a physical brand of football. Time to bully the division. Oh, let's go. Plainfield, back-to-back, Union County, stand up. That's a fact. Shout out to the Plainfield. Hold on. I'm trying to Minutemen. No, that's East Orange. No, that's Elizabeth. Elizabeth's a Minutemen. Cardinals, Plainfield Cardinals. I had to think about it for a second. My rivals had to think about it for a second. Shout out to the Plainfield Cardinals winning back-to-back championships. Shout out to Jersey. Jersey in the building for sure. Rev said an A for Isaiah Likely. Cool. Deb A. I see all the A's for Isaiah Likely. I'm going to ask you guys, man. Because the way I think about it now, and it's a lot of people that watch ball in here that know ball too. The signing of Likely, the big slot, I think the offense is moving towards, again, West Coast. It's about timing. Quarterback drops to the receivers. Whoever gets open the fastest is probably getting that ball, man. It's probably getting that ball. And the Giants have added a lot of speed to the arsenal now. I can call it a real arsenal now because we got an arsenal of weapons now. Before we needed weapons, and now we have an arsenal of weapons. We definitely got faster in this past week with adding Austin, adding Likely, adding Mooney. We definitely got faster. So I'm liking it. And first question of the night. first question of the night. I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Thank you for the comments. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. Thank you for the comments. I'm going to ask you guys a question, right? Do you believe with adding Austin and adding Darnell Mooney that takes wide receiver off the board for the first round? Just curious to see what the temperature in the room is, because I know what I think. Adding to the wide receiver room, I'm going all the way down to the bottom so I can get the fresh comments, and then I will hit the super chats in a second. Does that take the wide receiver off the board in the first round? Let me know. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Shout out to my man Jay Ferris in the building again. Thank you for the love and support. He says, for training camp, if I see you, we good. If not, if you is not Darius, I will be shocked. Don't be a lazy content creator. Now, you know what? I'm always working. I'm always working. You know that. And plus, you're not going to see me at training camp, because training camp is in West Virginia. That's different. I would like to go to training camp because I can get back to Jersey and see family or something like that. I ain't going to West Virginia. West Virginia? Joe, you going to West Virginia? You probably are going to West Virginia. You flying all the way across and going to West Virginia, ain't you? Shout out to Joe again with the $10 super chat. He says, I'm so done with your secret, Big Dash. Listen, Joe, you got to stop trolling, man. You got to stop trolling. I'm going to put a side-by-side up at one point in time if I do that. I'll make sure I do a graphic like that. So every time you say that, I can pop up a video of Darius and do it that way. And really do it that way. Okay, let me go back to see what people are saying about taking wide receiver off the board. Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, we're going down the list. And the yays have it. Mav, you might be the only one that said no. Chris said, still get Tate. Now, Chris said it too. Okay, hold on. All right, yes. Pete says possibly. D-Nice says yes. Simeon says first round, yes. Darian says yes. King, what's going on, King? He says yes. All right, we got another no. Mr. February says no. Okay. Big Blue says no. Dutch says yes. The yeses will keep coming. That Dark Friend says wide receiver off the board, round 1. Rev said it 3 times. Yes. Joe Ferris said, you let me know, Joe. Let me know. Does it take it off the board for you? Let me know. Jermaine says, I see a lot of people saying yes. You know what's crazy about that? Like my head says yes, it does take it off the board. But I think once we won't even know as much with Malik Neighbors. Like, it's only a month. Status probably won't change. He seems to be on track. But just think about starting off the season. Just hopefully Malik Neighbors is ready to go. But if he is not 100%, the wide receiver room is still Darius Slayton, Calvin Austin, now Darnell Mooney, and then what? Isaiah Hodgins, Hyatt, maybe, possibly, Gunnar Olszewski, stuff like that. So I won't say that I can completely take it off the board. It depends on what happens in front of us. If we get to 5 and you know, Styles is gone, Bain is gone, Downs possibly gone, and you know, Love possibly gone, then I'm still putting I probably would still take wide receiver over the running back spot. That's just how I feel about it. But I still think it's 50-50. If I had to put a number on, I think it's 50-50. If I had to really lean towards, I would say yes, off the board. But I'm trying to hold on to a little bit more faith on that. Again, I'm a Styles guy. I want Styles on defense, because I just think that's something that we still don't have, even with the addition of Tremont Edmonds. All right, but let's get to the next one. I see everybody going on. Let me know if we keep going. We're going to pause here for a second. Hold on, let me go get back to where I was. I already did that one. Shout out to Coach Ward, $5 super chat, says, hear me out. A lot of us falling in love with combine numbers for Styles, but check the tape. Styles didn't shut down any offense like his RAS dictates. I understand the RAS scores, man. I understand the RAS scores off the charts. He tested off the chart. His tape is good tape. His tape, he has good tape for a guy his second year as off-ball linebacker and put together what he put together. Now he's still a product. He still needs to be developed, but he's already like his ceiling is crazy. If you talk about players with the highest ceilings in this draft, he is right up there with one of the highest ceilings. Now his floor might not be the highest, but again, this is 2 years as a linebacker. And it's kind of like the opposite. We had Abdul Carter last year where he only had the 1 year as a full-on edge rusher because he was off ball all those other years. And you see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. But shout out to Coach Ward. But let me know, you thinking offensive line, ain't you, Coach? Usually the coaches, anybody with coaching their name, they thinking about the trenches. And I understand. Dutch with the $2 super chat says, yes, it does. But if their top players are gone, you don't know. That's how I feel, man. If these players are gone for me, that'll be the next question. That'll be the next question. I see everybody still saying, yes, a couple of no's, but I think the yeses have it. Marsh is like Styles of love at 5, period. You can't tell me nothing else. I hear you. Luann says we are drafting Tate, all caps. Luann means business. Yeah, the chat is on fire today, Q Burrow. It is on fire today. I'm trying to keep up as much as possible. Atlantic, y'all gotta stop playing with me. Stop trolling, man. Big Darius knows is hilarious. Joe, you can't steal that one, man. Don't make that Big Darius knows is hilarious. Y'all ain't gonna just make fun of me on my own show, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. Fantastic New York sports content creator. If you're not following my man Born for Sports, make sure you do that. What's going on, Jorge? How we doing? Shout out to the 330 crew. He says, got to pace myself, bro. Mooney was a solid signing for way less money than Wandell. I'm getting so excited about this team, and they still have holes to address in the trenches, and the draft is in a month. That is, I think we're 6 weeks away. 6 weeks away from the draft. Yep. We got a couple of no's still coming in as far as wide receiver being taken off the board at 1. My man Jarius says if Styles is gone, they will trade back. That's another scenario. We didn't bring that option up yet, though. Slow down, Jarius. You're getting ahead of me. Slow down a little bit. Tony the Ghost says explore all options. He says take nothing off the board. I'm with you. I'm with you. The trade back scenario, depending on how far back we go, if we can trade back and still land in the top 10 or maybe even the top 12 and pick up another second rounder, I probably would do that too, man. This draft is full of quality depth, solid depth, and starters, solid starters. Not a lot of blue chippers though. Not a lot of blue chippers. Let's see. Mr. February says, to the person who said trade back, you are absolutely correct. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Shout out to everybody chatting it up too, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. And also, if you are not subscribed to this channel and you're a New York Giants fan, first off, what's wrong with you? If you haven't not seen this channel before and you're a New York Giants fan, welcome home. This is your family, the Big Blue family. We all bleed blue here. Sometimes we get some visitors from other teams and they show love. It's very respectful. But if you feel like, do it like they do in church. At the end of church, you're invited. Come on down. Come on down to the Big Blue Nation, man. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to my man Phil in the building with the $10 super chat. Says Styles at 5. If not there, seek trade back or go run stop first and second. So you want to run stoppers. In my opinion, free agency was weak this year. These 1-year contracts seem like they're pushing the chips in for next year's draft and free agency. What do you say? You're absolutely right. A bunch of 1-year prove-it deals that can turn into something else. Absolutely. They protect their cap doing this. And then also, like I said, some of these guys, if they can prove it, we can add them to the roster. Maybe they get a 2-year contract. Maybe they get a 3-year contract, depending on what's going on. With these type of 1-year contracts, you're getting the best out of everybody because a lot of these guys are going to be in contract years. Not only are they going to be playing for their jobs with the New York Giants, they're going to be advertising themselves for the rest of the league. So I'm with it. And it's also smart. Money being spent smartly. Shout out to Dope Dez with the $2 super chat. Says you can't trust Ohio State players, always hurt. We helmet scouting now. I'm a little bit guilty of the helmet scouting. I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. I don't. and I'm an Alabama fan. I'm a helmet scout when it comes to that. So I hear you. Ohio State players do have some type of injuries here and there, but listen, I wish the best for all these prospects. Healthy careers, for sure. My man Tyrone Hall in the building. What's going on, Tyrone? He says we need to draft. What? We need to draft keepers. I think so, man. I think so. And that's what it is. If we can knock some of these draft picks out of the park, that sets us up for the future, man. We got a lot of cap space still. We didn't spend crazy. So 2027 should still be promising. Again, we still got some time left in free agency, but there's not a lot of big tickets out there. I want to know what's going to happen with Greg Van Roten. I want to know if we can possibly get Wyatt Teller as a backup option or Kevin Zeitler. If we can get Grandpa in here, Kevin Zeitler, for a year or two, I'm with it. The investment is for Jackson Dart ultimately. All right. Did I say I didn't say Calvin Austin. So let's do a quick grade for Calvin Austin, and I'm gonna continue to go through these comments. Quick grade for Calvin Austin, then we're gonna jump right into Darryl Mooney. I'm not asking for grades for Evan Neal. I'm not asking for a grade with Isaiah Hodgins. I'll say what I need to say about Isaiah Hodgins. I like Isaiah Hodgins. I'm a fan of Isaiah Hodgins, and if he's a wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. I'm definitely cool with that. I think there's a place for a wide receiver that's willing to block downfield. So for special, you can get some specials out of him. He can be, he did that for us already. But I am a fan of Isaiah Hodgins. I am hurt that we lost Daniel Bellinger. I'll touch on that, really quickly. But the money that Daniel Bellinger got, more power to Daniel Bellinger. He got paid. Giants wasn't paying him that much money. He ain't getting $8 million per from the Giants. Some of these tight end deals is crazy. Manhurts coming back. Okay, that's okay. All right. Aaron Stinney came back. You need some depth. You need some insurance just in case you can't get Greg Van Roten or whoever we decide to put in at right guard. So I understand some of these moves. Just want to get through those really quickly. Only asking for grades on the offensive side before we get to the defense. For Darnell Mooney and Calvin Austin. Hold on just a moment. Oh, man. All right, let's see where I'm at. Jeff Whitfield. Shout out to Jeff Whitfield with the $4.99 super chat. He says, because there's not many blue chippers, you almost need to take one of them. And listen, man, it's a lot of, listen, I see what Love is nice. Love is a blue chipper. Love might be the best player in this draft. I understand where you're coming from. I think he would be fantastic. But it's almost like, what do you do with Scatterboo after that? It's crazy too, because as far as talent goes, just talent levels, Jeremiah Love is like up here, Cam Scatterboo, hovering somewhere down here as far as talent goes. But the energy that Cam Scatterboo brings, he's already he was at the Rich Eisen show. He said he's about 75% when he's running to about 75%. Said he's going to be good to go for training camp. Said he's about a month out from really running. I think he's going to be ready and good to go. He was never a burner to begin with, so it's not like we got to worry about speed. He's a thumper. You bring somebody like Jeremiah Love, and the crazy thing is you get Jeremiah Love in here, you might see some 40, 50, 60-yard runs. Then you also might see some tackles for losses. Like I said, the similarities to Saquon Barkley, they're there where you got, 2 yards, 3 yards, minus 4 yards, and then like a 50-yard touchdown. That's very much like Saquon, how Saquon was for us. What else did you say? Tracy is 27 in year 3. Scat may not be in shape. He's a weapon. No, he's absolutely a weapon. He's absolutely worth the 5th overall pick too. Again, I just want to be clear. I think I'm being clear with that. Shout out to Mr. February with the $4.99 super chat. No comment, just $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. My man Zion in the building. What's going on, Zion? He said, what up, fam? Bless up, Giants for life. Shout out to my man Zion in the building. Another content creator that's in the building. No, WB to win. $1.99 super chat said Rodriguez tape better than Styles. Trade back for Lemon. A lot of people like Lemon. It's just Lemon can go anywhere from, like, in all honesty, Lemon can go anywhere from like 5 to 12, almost 5 to like 18. Lemon is fantastic. Lemon is fantastic. People went crazy with his interview. I like my wide receivers a little bit off, a little bit off. He is serious, dead serious. But you see the way that he plays is warranted. Rodriguez tape, and shout out to my man Dante, from Gridiron. He said, yeah, Rodriguez tape is fantastic. Rodriguez is a flat out fantastic linebacker. Will punch the ball out. Got the peanut punch down pack. I wouldn't be mad with Rodriguez either. I like Golday too. Styles might go to the Jets. We don't know. Styles might be gone before we even pick. There are some other linebackers. If you want to go a little bit deeper in the draft, I'm looking at Red Murdoch from the University of Buffalo. He's a solid linebacker prospect as well. I don't think he's a day one starter, but he can definitely develop into one. Now it's a lot of linebackers. You got CJ Allen, you got Kyle Lewis. Shout out to Jersey. You know, it's a bunch of them out there. It's a bunch of them out there with some better tape. Rodriguez is just fantastic. He's a turnover machine. How many caused fumbles did he have this year? But again, he has a high floor, and he is pretty much what he is already. High floor, ceiling. You know, ceiling ain't that high, but the high floor, you kind of know what you're getting. He ran faster in the combine. That was good for him. He ran, I believe, in the 4.5s at the combine. So I'm a fan of Rodriguez. I like him a lot. And this is how I get backed up in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all though, man. Leah Luca, what's going on? Leah Luca says Harbaugh and Aponte are making smart moves. They are. Let me ask you guys another question, man. Are we giving any credit? Are we giving, y'all know where I'm going with this, are we giving any credit to Joe Schoen? Because he understands the question. Dude, are we giving any credit to Joe Schoen? Let me know. Corey Alum says, re-signing Neal, that bum and all the prior New York Giant players that have already been there before. What do you think? I don't like it. Even though it's no real guaranteed money, I believe it is a camp body. It's a prove it type of deal for sure. I want better options at guard. I'm not satisfied with the Neals, with the Stennies. I'm not satisfied with Runyon, even though he's a starter and he's making a lot of money. I think he might be the weakest link on the offensive line. Might be John Runyon. I want Greg Van Roten back. If I can't get Wyatt Teller, if I can't get Kevin Zeitler, I already wanted Greg Van Roten anyway. And if we got Stenny here and we got Neal, how does Neal and Stenny get a deal before Greg Van Roten? I don't understand. I really don't understand. But yeah, I mean, I don't like it either. He called his not even hamburger flip. He called his hot dog flippers. And I don't know how you flip hot dogs. You can roll hot dogs. I don't know about flipping hot dog. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Leah Lucas says, I think we shouldn't draft a linebacker because we signed a really good one and signed McFadden. I go wide receiver runner. You mean at all? You don't want a linebacker at all, Leo? At all? At all? I don't know about that. McFadden's a 1-year deal. Obviously Tremaine Edmonds was the big get on defense. Spent the most money with him. But again, we need somebody else. And like I said, I got some other graphics we're gonna get to, man. Let's switch to the actually let's get special teams out of the way really quickly. Let's get special teams out of the way. Jordan Stout, highest paid punter in the league right now, thanks to John Harbaugh and the New York Giants. Solid get for the New York Giants. A lot of people don't care about punters that much. When you're dealing with the Scottish Hammer and his inconsistency, welcoming Jordan Stout is refreshing. He can be a weapon. He can pin the opposing team deep. He's more consistent in doing that. I like it. Kicker Jason Sanders. I see some people putting B's. Kicker Jason Sanders dealt with some injuries. If you guys, for a lot of you guys are familiar with the chat, familiar with Late Night Giants Talk. We like Ben Sauls in this chat. We like Ben Sauls on this channel. We have a nickname for Ben Sauls is Better Call Sauls. He's going to be in the kicking competition. Why is Gano still on the team is another question that I have. Rhetorical. You ain't got to answer that. Rhetorical. But yeah, I like both of those pickups. Jason Sanders really ain't making no money either. I believe his contract also is like one of those where there's not any money really guaranteed. So let's talk about this defense now. Let's talk about this defense. Hold on, Fred Bird. Fred Bird, we got an eagle in the building. Put the weapons down. Don't go after the Eagles, man. I just want to see what you got to say first. Love is going top 4 or 5. He's the best player in the draft. Okay, he's safe. He's safe. We got an Eagle fan that's safe in the building. We just remember where you at. Wipe your feet before you step in the big blue house. Is it a priest? A priest 58 with the $4.99 super chat. He says, after today, if the draft was tomorrow, where are you going with 5 and 37? I'm still with Styles or Delane at 5, D tackle or linebacker at 37. If the draft was tomorrow, yes, I'm taking Sonny Styles at 5. I'm taking the defensive tackle at 37. I'm taking Christian Miller. I'm taking Lee Hunter. Those names seem to be available at that. I would love if Peter Woods fell to the second round. That would be fantastic too. Don't think it's going to happen. Right now, today, for me, Sonny Styles at 5, Christian Miller, Lee Hunter at 37. Also, the option to trade back too is still on the table. It's still on the table. Shout out to Luann showing love and support. You all click that like and subscribe button. I did when I came across Big Dash. I subscribed. Thank you very much, Luann. Thank you very much. Corky, what's going on? Corky says Harbaugh is putting together a team of football players and coaches, incentive-laden contracts. If you perform, you're gonna get paid. Offensive players altogether B+. Even the Neil. Nah, we ain't doing that. Defense B. So you gave us an all-around grade. Okay, overall grade, I should say. All right, I need a grade for Tremaine Edmonds. Let me know how you guys feel about Tremaine Edmonds. Dash going to play next to Dex. I wish. I'll take the check, man. I ain't played in a long time, though. I might get thrown around. Not in football shape at all. Yes, Supernatural says he also was upset about Bellinger. Yeah, man, I'm upset about that Bellinger thing, man. Again, we wasn't paying him $8 million, though. It just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. I wish I would know more what Thomas Fedoni is. I know what Chris Manhertz is already. He's a blocker. Okay. We got a fullback now. So was Bellinger expendable? Yes, he was, unfortunately. But I think he should do pretty well. He should do pretty well with the Titans, man. If they use him, he going back to the coach that didn't use him. See what happens. Pete says we got Fedoni. I wish we would have saw Fedoni, man. Fedoni was like a 5-star recruit coming out of high school too, man. He dealt with some injuries too, but large catch radius, good after after the catch too, can make some things happen. Red zone threat. We just didn't see him this year, and we can say a lot of things about that. Corky says Illuminor Ricard likely all A's. Okay, DeMarco Forbes said A-. Okay, let me get back to these grades for Edmonds. And I do apologize. I'm going to jump down so I can see some of these grades. Oh, okay. The questions. Hell no. A couple yeses, though. A lot of no's. Okay. So with Tracy turning 27 later this year and Shane's belief that running backs fall off a cliff right after 27, he did say that. He absolutely said that. A lot of nopes. Again, yeah, a lot of no's. I see you, King Chris. Add some emphasis to the no. Okay. All right, I got to get to these grades. So hold on. I am way behind too, man. Hold on. Let me get caught up. All right, here we go. All right, so Rev's got to start it off with the grades on Edmonds. He says an A+. That's high. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to be that high. Denise says B+. That seems more around the range. I like a solid B for me personally. Atlantic says B+. Simeon says B. Pete Weiner says A+. Best punter. Oh, you talking about the punter? Okay. Are we still talking about punters? Did I miss this? Stout A+. Okay, yeah, I'm way behind. I apologize. Let me get, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do this. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, here we go. A's, B plus. Okay, cool. Shout out to y'all, man. A minus, Edmonds, B plus, Edmonds, B plus, B minus, A. You guys in here, man. Y'all in here today, man. Shout out to the what we got? 400 people, over 400 people in the building. Make sure you hit the like button, please. Please, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right. Micah McFadden coming back. We don't have to put grades in there for Micah McFadden. Solid pickup for what we need. The cupboard is bare when it comes to linebackers. Prove it deal for Micah McFadden. I think he's going to play hard. I think he's going to play hard. He said he doesn't believe he'll have any limitations. He'll be ready to go by training camp. So shout out to him. I think this is a solid pickup. Micah McFadden, solid pickup. If he ends up being your linebacker 3, fantastic. That means you went ahead and drafted somebody else, and possibly it could be your Styles, your Rodriguez, your Golday. I don't know how many people might beat out Micah McFadden though. Outside of that, outside of your Styles, your Rodriguez's, your Goldays, not sure. Maybe CJ Allen. I'm not sure who can beat out Micah McFadden as that other linebacker. I really do like Micah McFadden. I think that's solid. 19 Keith says Edmonds and McFadden are both coming off of injuries last season. Get Styles and have some depth at middle linebacker. There we go. Yeah, man. We still need linebackers. Again, we'll see with the next graphics. We still need linebackers. Do you bring back Bobby Okereke? Just got to throw that out there, just really quickly. Would you bring back Bobby Okereke to play him next to, if we don't draft a linebacker? Seriously. And Bobby Okereke actually might get picked up. We don't know. Somebody might pick him up. But if he's floating around and we don't address linebacker in the draft, how would you feel about the Edmonds and Bobby Okereke linebacker room? Let me know. let me know. Let's see. Edmonds B, Edmonds a C. Robert Sage says a C for Edmonds. Dope Dez says a C minus. Okay, a couple people not fans of Edmonds. Edmonds, some people say he might have lost a step. He's already been in the league, 8 seasons, and he's 27, 28 years old. He got drafted at 20, like a real 20. I think he's a solid linebacker. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's just head and shoulders better than Bobby Okereke. I think he's an upgrade against the run. I think he brings more pop than Bobby Okereke brought. As far as movement side to side, they might be right there together. But with a full head of steam, I'm leaning Tremaine Edmonds. I think the interceptions are inflated a little bit. He does have long arms. He does have a lot of batted passes. He is good as far as coverage when it comes to zone, getting to a spot, hook the curl. He's effective. He's not covering anybody man to man though, for the most part. I don't expect him to shut down too many tight ends when it comes to man to man coverage. But I do like the pickup. I'm giving it a B minus for Edmonds. Greg Newsome was a welcome surprise after we saw how many cornerbacks got signed before we got to Newsome. Obviously, what's his name? Woolen got paid. Woolen went to the Eagles, right? Damn Eagles, man. Jamel Dean went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Flott fell through. We didn't get Flott back, and it's some shady stuff that happened with Flott too. Because they were saying that it was pretty much a done deal, and then Tennessee came in here with they hating asses, and they came in with the full court press, and then Robert Saleh lied to Cordell Flott. I'm just saying, this is just my thoughts. They came in talking about, well, Robert Saleh just came in and said, how are we going to use him? We're going to do this, we're going to do that with you, and then they turned around and signed 2 more cornerbacks after that, and possibly 2 cornerbacks that might be better than Cordell Flott. They got Alante from the Saints, and then they picked up one more other cornerback. Slipping my mind right now. Somebody can put it in the chat. So they flat out lied to Flott, man. They lied to him. Whatever plan they had for Flott, that's going right to Alante Taylor, in my opinion. Alante Taylor's a better player, in my opinion. And I like Flott. but they hit him with the woo-wop the bam, and it was gone. It was gone. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson in the building. What's going on, Mark? He said, howdy dash in chat. Was so tired. I just woke up and see that we signed Mooney. Yeah, you asleep. You asleep. Happy to join you tonight. I would say we looking good. Edmonds is a B+. I'm not mad at that. In that B range for me, for sure. In that B range. Greg Newsome. I like that pickup, especially when it became slim pickings. Now, with Greg Newsome, aggressive. He was a first-round talent, so the talent is there, but can they tap in and get the best out of Greg Newsome? That's going to be the question. Can Denard Wilson in this scheme get the best out of Greg Newsome? Get the best out of all these guys. Get the best out of Debo. Get the best out of Tay Banks, possibly. Can we see that happen? I'm hoping so. And again, another cheap deal, prove it deal. He was at the presser already talking about if he plays well here, he wants to stay in New York. Right mindset for me. It could just be talk for right now. But yeah, I like the Greg Newsome because it's a talent. We saw him actually play well in Cleveland. A little bit on the down, went down in Jacksonville. Don't know what happened there. Don't know if it was a scheme fit or not. I did see the breakdown. I think it was, who was the breakdown? It might have been Nick Filato that did the breakdown for Newsome. I know Bobby got one for Newsome too. But they said it might have been like a confidence thing with the scheme being changed and stuff like that. And it all makes sense to me. But I do like the pickup of Greg Newsome. I still would possibly try to add some more cornerback depth because, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. For weeks, actually for months, I told you guys, everybody that been here watching, I said, you know what? I can't wait for free agency to get here. It'll make the picture a lot clearer of what we do in the draft, and it absolutely did not. I don't think it's any clearer what we do in the draft after this first week of free agency. I'm still like, yeah, a million scenarios can happen. Pete Winan says, I think our old coaching staff stunted the growth of some of the young players. They gave up on them and weren't coached properly. The young players were re-signed, deserved to try out. You never know. Now, you're absolutely right. They did give up on players quickly. We saw them do it. They did it to Flott. They did it to Daniel Bellinger, for sure. Some guys, they deserve to be, left behind a little bit, but those two guys for sure. Where am I at? Jeff Whitfield with the $1.99 super chat said, "Who would you want to trade up with us, and for what?" I'm thinking Bengals. I'm thinking Chiefs. That's what I'm thinking. So that I think the Bengals got 11, Chiefs got 9, Dolphins I think got 11. Who got 11? I think the Dolphins might have 11. But in that 9, 10, 11 range is probably where I feel the most comfortable trading back. Yeah. What the Saints are at, 8, I think, because I know it's the Commanders got 7. So in that range, I would love to stay in the top 10. I don't want to get past 12 because there's some options, especially when it comes to offensive linemen. I like the Penn State offensive lineman. Everybody loves the Penn State offensive lineman now. I like Maui Noah. Of course, Spencer Finals looking like he's going to be more of a guard. So, yeah. Shout out to Keith, 19 Keith 71 with the $1.99 super sticker. Appreciate the love and support, man, as always. All right, Ardarius Washington. Now, somebody brought up Ardarius Washington earlier. I see a lot of people saying they're going to pass on Bobby O, even if he's available at the end of training camp. It's a pass on Bobby O. Now, listen, I hear you. I hear you. I want a young linebacker in the building. That's what I want. It's a couple of solid prospects in this draft at linebacker. I would love to get at least one of them, for sure. Ardarius Washington. Again, we didn't get a chance to really talk about Ardarius Washington too much. I didn't know too much about Ardarius Washington. I had to go back and watch what his profile is. And despite his 5'9", 180-pound frame, he is very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. He's also pretty good in coverage. You see him in phase, safety. I like it. Makes plays in the end zone. I don't know how he does it, but I like it. Hold on, Corey, did we just re-sign a linebacker? Another one? Well, where'd he go? Hold on, I saw somebody say, it wasn't Corey, it was Is it Saddleberry? Saddleberry said we re-signed the linebacker. Did we? Somebody let me know. You know, when I'm trapped in the studio, I don't get all of the updates that like that. Um, what's going on, Kenneth Perkins? How you doing? Um, Washington a B. Yeah, I like Washington. I like Washington. I like him more now that I know what he's doing out there. What's his name? Drop the name, man. Drop the name. What linebacker did we resign? Oh, Zaire Barnes. I saw that. I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that. He came. Well, we was running out of players at that point in time, but he came and had some solid snaps. Um, he'll compete for a reserve position. I think so. Yeah, but how many linebackers do we keep? That's the question. That's the question. All right. Some more recent news. More recent news. Thank you, Mark. Zaire Barnes here. Jason Pinnock. Now, Jason Pinnock came out of left field for me. I like it. I like bringing back Jason Pinnock. At one point in time, he was the best safety on the team. Got sacks, got interceptions. They even had some tackles for losses, and he wasn't the best tackler either. I think he's solid to add depth to the safety room. So, with that being said, with all the moves at safety right now, you guys set it for linebackers. Is safety off the board? Is Downs off the board because we picked up all these guys in the reserve roles for safety? I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. Ramdre says Pinnock better than Nubin. Yeah, I would admit that now. Absolutely. Simeon says I like Pinnock B. Yeah. Ron B says B for Pinnock. Rev said B plus. I don't think Rev gave anybody under a B plus yet. Shout out to my man Rev. What's going on, Rev? How you doing? Dealer says I would load up on defense in that 27 draft, build the offense for a year, let it get in sync, and then bring all the defensive pieces we need via the draft. So we got to do a mock draft together, Dealer. Because now I'm intrigued. So because I thought this would be more of a defensive draft, this draft. But you saying load up on offense in 2026 and load up on defense in 2027. Yeah. Depending on how much, I ain't gonna make no problems. I said, man, maybe we do a mock draft, but I don't know. Bandwidth might shut everything down. Eric James Johnson says 10-7 next year playoffs. You mean this year, 2026, 10-7 playoffs? I'll take it this year. Even if you did mean next year, I'm gonna say this year. Shout out to my man Eric James in the building. JDJ says, some of these safeties are for special teams. Well, we only gonna keep like 4 safeties, man. We only gonna keep 4 of them. So right now, today, if we don't get Downs, I'm assuming it's gonna be Holland, Nubin, Washington, and Pinnock. And I'm not mad at that at all. In all honesty, I'm not mad at that at all. I like a safety room with those 4 because we're probably going to keep 5 to 6 cornerbacks. So 4 safeties sound about right, and I'm not mad at that safety room. Wait a minute, that suspect at you don't like Holland and you don't like Nubin. Holland coming back. Let's see. Nubin is a question mark right now. But hopefully better coaching, better players, Papa John's, we can do that. We can improve in that fashion. Suspect at best is wild though. Suspect. Not even okay, not even good. Suspect means it's a problem. Suspect means it's a problem. So that dark friend is saying the safety room is a problem. Elaborate some more. I think I know where you're going. Nubin got some issues. Javon Holland, hopefully he comes back fully healthy. But I understand. Luann says we need another safety. Downs. I like Downs. McNeil Warren is out there. The kid from Oregon. Denamain is there from Oregon. Bud Clark had a lot of people saying ooh and ah at the Senior Bowl. What's it? You got was it Bishop Fitzgerald from USC? He's another one, sneaky guy under the radar. You got some big body corners that might be safeties too. This is the draft where you need like 11 picks, and you need all those. You need the majority of those picks in like late day two. So third, fourth, fifth rounders. If we had like four picks, what do we have right now? We got one. We got no third. We got a 1/4, 1/5. If we had like 4 picks between the third, fourth, and fifth round, well, third and fourth for sure, we could just add up and load up depth. And this is that kind of draft. It's really that kind of draft. Corey Alum says one position that worries me is the center. Yeah. Not going to ask for grades for Art Green and Caleb Murphy. Just want to throw those guys in there. Again, I didn't put everybody down that we signed. Got to get to the next graphic though. My man Dealer says I'm saying trade back, get Lemon and picks for that. Oh, for that 27 draft. I got you now. I'm not so much worried about this one. I don't like this draft at all. At all? Yeah. Hey, he said it. At all. Deal. He says I've heard nothing but bad things about this draft for years, not just this off season. You don't like none of these. So when hearing things, I know you watch football too, man. You don't like the defensive line. You don't like the defensive lineman in this one. I think late in the later rounds, day 3, the offensive line prospects. You don't like none of these guys. How do you get once you get out of the like linebacker, a little bit thin, like linebacker, off-ball linebacker. Actually, no, linebacker as far as day 1 starters, a little bit thin. It's probably 3 or 4 of those guys. And then also there's always a surprise somewhere too. Wide receivers, you got a lot of wide receiver 2s, 3s. To me, there's only one real wide receiver 1 in this draft, and that's just if he meets his top potential or full potential, and that's Tyson. I don't see Tate as a wide receiver 1. I don't see Lemon as a wide receiver 1. He's a slot. I think they're both very, very good, but I don't think they're ones. So wide receiver 2s, wide receiver 3s. I think this draft is full of those guys too. Thieneman, yeah. However you pronounce his name, Thieneman. Or the safety from Oregon. Yep. AJ Hulsey. You know what? I just started watching because I didn't really watch LSU this year. Hulsey is intriguing because obviously when you do as many mock drafts as you do, you see Hulsey, in that. Well, I think he might have dropped a little bit now too because he was in like that 30 range, and then I think he dropped into like the 40s or something like that. But again, you can take PFF with a grain of salt. You gotta really watch these guys because there were guys that I had that were sleepers in January and February before the combine, before the Senior Bowl. And I'm like, these guys are going to be sleepers. They're really, really good. And then all of a sudden now, a month away from the draft, they done jumped all the way. Some guys, for example, Malachi Lawrence, edge rusher, from UCF. They had him ranked as a 4th, 5th rounder. I'm seeing mock drafts now with him in the 1st round. Like I saw it. I call him Mr. Kung Fu. Great hands. Joe Edwards says, Dash, I hope Dart is somewhere this offseason working on getting his feet movement right. Thank you, Joe. A lot of and it's funny too, because depending on who you talk to, some people don't like you criticizing Jackson Dart at all. Like, I believe Jackson Dart is the future for the New York Giants. I believe he is a future franchise quarterback for the New York Giants. I should be allowed to say, hey, he needs to work on his feet, because he absolutely needs to work on his feet. He needs to get together with somebody and work on his feet. We saw all the wild plays. He's made fantastic plays. Arm talent is there. And so just imagine if his footwork is right. If he gets his footwork right, he'll be even better. So hopefully people take that part of it and not just see it as criticism. But if that man works on his feet, we in for one. Right now, he's already good. He can be even better. 27 is where it's at. 27, well, 27 was going to be like a quarterback class. I know people were saying that. A wide receiver class too. It seems like there's always a bunch of defensive tackles. Cornerback should be pretty good in 27. Edge rushers again. It, like, to me, but it might be, it's definitely more blue chippers projected more blue chippers in 2027. Like, we might have 5 blue chippers in this draft. You might see more like 10 to 12 blue chippers in 27. Trade with Pittsburgh. What Pittsburgh at? Pittsburgh's what? What are you picking at? Pittsburgh made the playoffs, so they in the 20s, right? I'm assuming. What are they, 20, 21, something like that. That's a little too far back, man. That's a little too far back. I can't do that because now you're missing out on the receivers. You're missing out on some of the linebackers. You're missing out on the offensive linemen. Like the top tier guys. Yeah, that might be a little too far. Now, if you're targeting somebody like Denzel Boston, if you're still looking at a wide receiver, if you're looking at the safety from Oregon, he might be in that range. Solid player, solid pickup. Yeah, maybe that. K-Part from Clemson is underrated. I like K-Part too. DeMonte. Yep. Sadu Berry says I like KC Conception. Yeah, I'm rooting for him too, man. I'm rooting for him too. Let me get to my next graphic though, because we're gonna be here forever. And I don't mind it too, because we having fun today. We're already an hour down. Let's see where we got the next graphic. We're gonna talk about some of the people we have already. Where's my needs one? That's not my needs one. Let's go here. Nope. There we go. All right. So we're gonna still talk about some needs that we have, man, because we still got some needs, and there's still some players. Well, I should say, when I made this graphic, well, these players were still available. You see, Darnell Mooney was one of the wide receivers I had listed. He's actually a New York Giant, so I'm happy about that. I see people talking about Peter Woods. I wish Peter Woods fell. Peter Woods, he wouldn't got in shape. He got in great shape too. Peter Woods got in great shape. Let me make sure I got all the super chats done. Okay, cool. I'm caught up on the super chats. Kick return KC. Okay. Dealer says Ravens still have all of their picks. Maybe not once Crosby gets further along in his recovery. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, man. So we're gonna talk about that now. Kenneth Perkins. He says, Dash, how do you feel about the Darnell Mooney pick? I feel a lot better about the wide receiver room with the pickup of Darnell Mooney. I'm a lot more comfortable with Darnell Mooney being added. Now, so the question is for you guys now. Is Darnell Mooney wide receiver 2, or does that role still go to Darius Slayton right now today? Again, we don't not including the draft, because if we go wide receiver in the draft, but right now today, who is your wide receiver 2? Darnell Mooney? I think I already know the answer to this. Or Darius Slayton? Let me know in the comment section, man. Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, but I like the Darnell Mooney pick for sure. Again, I feel more comfortable, just like I will feel more comfortable if we address the right guard spot. If we end up getting Wyatt Teller, bringing back GVR, even getting Grandpa Zeitler, and I say that respectfully, I'm older than Zeitler, but it is, what it is. I think so. Slayton is 4 behind Calvin. Oh man, I'm surprised they didn't try to work some type of restructure with Slayton, but the faster you get rid of that contract, I guess the better. Mooney. I see a lot of people saying Mooney. I think Mooney over Slayton, better than Slayton. Wide receiver 2 is likely. Okay, Slayton doesn't need to catch another pass. I hear you. Yeah, I see a lot of the Moonies have it. The Moonies have it for sure. Slayton is special teams. He ain't even special teams. He ain't returning kicks. I know they put him back there, but do you trust him? I don't know. Hyatt is gone, man. And I don't even like the kicking man while he's down. But Hyatt, man, I fought hard for Hyatt too. Hyatt's gone, man. So defensive line. Defensive line is still a glaring need for the New York Giants. And the market is slim right now. I think the top guy is DJ Reader. He is a older defensive lineman, but he could add the depth that we need next to Dexter Lawrence. I think if you get DJ Reader, he becomes a starter with what the roster looks like right now. Calais Campbell. I talk about Zeitler being old. Calais Campbell really could be my neighbor when it comes to age. Calais Campbell still had a solid season last year. So Father Time has not caught up to him yet, but he is definitely over his shoulder. but I wouldn't be mad at Calais Campbell being added. I think if we get Calais Campbell, he could possibly be a starter or definitely get a lot of snaps. I just threw Jihad Ward in there because first off, I like the attitude that he would bring to the defense. Is he the greatest? Absolutely not. He was slightly better once he left the Giants. 6'2", 6'3", 280 pounds. Can he play the 3 technique in a pinch? Yes. But I just threw him on that list because I just like the attitude. Another person that I didn't put up here because I always forget about him, but I also want him to be a part of this team is Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins will be a fantastic get for me if you can keep him in order. If you can keep him in control, Wilkins will probably be first on my list. I don't know what he's going to be asking for. He was making a lot of money in with the Raiders until he just pretty much burnt his bag and burnt bridges to begin with, to add to that. But Christian Wilkins would be number 1 on my list for defensive line. Again, we don't know how healthy it is, how healthy he is. He just got the surgery, I think, this past year when he should have got the surgery, I think, back in 24 and should have been able to play in 2025. But, but I do like Christian Wilkins. Again, I can't even say off the field, all of the after the whistle stuff, because he is he is something after the whistle, man. Something. But yeah, defensive line, definitely. My man Simeon says, we will address right guard with the first pick. Don't worry, Dash. So who, Simeon? We moving one of the tackles to guard. Is it Maui Noah? We take Maui Noah and put him at guard. We take Fanu, put him at guard. Do you think the Penn State guy is good enough to, like the Penn State guy, Vega? I don't want to butcher his last name, but Vega, the guard from Penn State, the way people are talking about him now, they saying that, he could go top 10. I don't know. I don't know about that. Sir Bishop Rocks? Sir Bishop Rocks says, I don't like receivers under 6. Well, we only got what? How many receivers under 6 foot? Calvin Austin is what, 5'9"? But Neighbors is right at 6 foot. How tall is Mooney? But Neighbors is 6 foot. Slayton 6'1". Hodgins is 6'3". Hyatt is 6'1". Gunner's like 5'10". But Bo Collins 6'4". DeQuan Felton 6'4". So a lot of people don't like them small. But hey, if it was Amon-Ra St. Brown, I bet you that's the receiver that you probably like that's under 6 foot. Shout out to my man James, man. Shout out to my man James. He is the same exact way. He does not like shorter wide receivers. For him, the taller the better. I understand. Larger catch radius. I get it. We still trying to find Plaxico Burress. The new age Plaxico Burress. Luann. OBJ 1 year. I think that ship sailed. I think the ship sailed. If an injury happens, then maybe, but I think the ship sailed. MXH says, I want Hernandez back as a guard. I thought about Will Hernandez too, man. I thought about Will Hernandez. And when I look at this room, is he better than Stinney? Yes. Is he better than Evan Neal? Yes. Is he better than Runyon? Probably. I'm not high on Runyon at all. At all. But then what cornerbacks, you got L'Jarius Sneed out there still. You got Roger McCreary out there still. Both of those guys, familiar with Denard Wilson, defensive coordinator, played with him at Tennessee. But then also, we don't got a damn long snapper. And we might sit here and say, who cares about the long snappers? Long snappers matter. Long snappers matter because I don't know why we didn't keep Casey Crater. I don't know what the problem was. Why didn't we keep Casey Crater? Doesn't make sense to me. Why? I don't understand. But we need a long snapper. And I didn't even put names down for options because I don't want to look up long snappers. Waste time. But I do think it's important. Said great spot for Slayton to prove himself. He already making the money, man. And you know what's funny? Like, all he got to do is do his job, man. Shout out to my man G Nation, my man Big Lou was on the show last week. All Slayton had to do was do his job. What you get paid to do, that's catch the ball, hold on to the ball. That's all he had to do. That's what he got paid to do. And the funny thing about Slayton ain't even funny. Like he'll have some crazy ass one-handed catch falling down, but when somebody drop it right in the bucket, that's the ones that he drops. For the life of me, I don't understand. Slayton is big trash. Dealer says I'd have Mooney over Slayton, but yeah, I think likely is definitely pass catching option too. Absolutely. Does likely get 100 targets? That's my question. Because I think he pretty much what Wan'Dale Robinson was doing, all of the underneath stuff. The person that will be moving the chains most likely should be likely. All right, let's see. Get some of these super chats. That Dark Friend says, if we don't get a competent right guard in free agency, would you draft one in the second round if we don't get a third? There's a couple people I have pinpointed. I would love the kid from Georgia Tech, Rutledge. I would love Keelan Rutledge on this squad, man. He's already a right guard. I'll put him right next to Jermaine Illuminor, plug and play day one, but we don't have a third round pick. He would be the perfect option to get in the third round. Jennings Dunker is another one. He's a right tackle, but he's projected to be a guard from Iowa. People know he's popular because he has the red hair. He's a ginger, red hair mullet. Beautiful head of hair. But I think we picked too early in the second round for him because I think he does go in the second round. The guard from Penn State will be gone already by the time we pick in the second round. So I really do want a third round pick. I really do. Hold on. King Charles says no to Christian Wilkins. I know why. I know why, but I'm just talking, in the field of play. During the actual play, not when the whistle blows. He's quality. He's quality. Maybe with what happened to him, maybe it humbled him. Maybe he got some, maybe talked to some people, got his actions under control, and he wants to prove himself that he can still play. I would give him a chance. That's how bare the cupboard is when it comes to defensive tackle. And we about to see in a second. Is a priest says, as far as I'm concerned, the entire interior of the offensive line needs to be replaced. Amen. You preaching to the choir for sure when it comes to that. You preaching to the choir. Now let's get down to it. Let's see where are we at right now. Let's get down to it. That's not the one. Here we go. I'm gonna start with the defensive side first. Again, if you have not hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. For those that don't know, you see the Make the Giants Great Again hat. That is something that I shall sell in the shop too. Make sure you guys pick up some Big Dash merch at the end of the day. Shameless plug. So this is the pre-draft roster, right? This is the defense. We're going to do the offense later. So I'm going to try to keep it, in order. I see the comment section. People are jumping around like crazy. Again, shout out to everybody that's in the building. Mooney is 5'11". Okay, he's 5'11", 6 foot, cleats, 6 foot, We'll just say he's 6 foot for argument purposes. Hodgins overseas, Hodgins 6'3". Yeah. We got some big wide receivers on the squad, man. Not too many little ones. Pause. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go in order. Defensive line, you guys see the roster right now. You see where the holes are. Obviously, you got Dexter Lawrence, Darius Alexander, and then Chauncey Golston. Right now, projected, I will project those to be the front three if we're running that 3-4. Obviously, we go hybrid sometimes too. But Dexter Lawrence, Darius Alexander, Chauncey Golston, you need some help. You need some help with the defensive line, dog. You need some help. A lot of people want to get rid of Roy Robertson Harris. I actually like Roy Robertson Harris when he did play. I think he made it, made enough plays. Let me go ahead and get this off the board real quick. So I actually like Roy Robinson Harris. Actually, let me go ahead and get this off the board too. Hold on a second. Take that off too. Okay. All right. So we definitely need some help on this defensive line. Miami got the help. Yeah, Miami does got the help, though. Yeah, yeah. That Dark Friend says we need defense. Most of my opinion, I'm right there. I think this draft should be defensive. But shout out to my man Dealer. He said next year is a draft for defense. I like but again, I like Lee Hunter a lot. And lately, as far as mock drafts have been going, I've seen Lee Hunter be available at 37. I like him, defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. Christian Miller has been available, in that range for 37. I like him too. I don't know what's going to happen with Caleb Banks. Caleb Banks might drop because of the injuries, and then I believe he just re-injured his foot too. So that's not good at all. Zeitler's the same age as GBR. Yeah. Zeitler's better than GBR though. Still, Zeitler's still putting together some good snaps. Pete Winans, that's what it is, man. Pete, where Pete go? D-line. That's a fact. King Chris TV says Hunter in the second. I like it. I like Lee Hunter a lot, man. And it's funny too because I make fun of Lee Hunter. Now, Joe Ferris, if you said I think I look more like Lee Hunter than I do Darius Alexander, but here we go. But definitely defensive line. Just look at this defensive line again. Dexter Lawrence. We want to see the old Dex back. That's what we want to see. Hopefully, this year, less rehab, more working on his craft and getting back in shape. Obviously, he's looking towards trying to get some more money. So I think we do see a bounce back season for Dexter Lawrence. He's still not old, but he got to get in shape. He got to get healthy. Darius Alexander, year 2. Hopefully, we get a jump from him. Hopefully, he turns into, for me, hopefully, he turns into the Leo that we got rid of, and we still need, Big Cat. Chauncey Golston, hybrid edge rusher / defensive end / 3-tech 4-eye for us, possibly. Had some good snaps when we actually played him. Beginning of the year, it's like he wasn't even on the team. And then you saw later on in the season, once the defense coordinator got changed up, you saw him play a little bit more too. Obviously, with Kayvon Thibodeau going down, you saw more Chauncey Golston. But I think he's still quality. The deal wasn't crazy for him. So I still like Golston. Again, Roy Robinson Harris, think you need that. You need just that depth at the defensive line. Dexter Lawrence got to come off the field at some point in time, right? So, and what happens when Dexter Lawrence leaves the field? People just gas us. Sometimes they gas us with Dexter Lawrence on the field, but that's just another story. Elijah Chapman, Cinderella story, feel good story of Elijah Chapman. Does he make the 53 this year? He didn't make it last year. So I don't know what we're going to do there. And then DeMarvin Leal, we just picked him up from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is he a camp body, 90-man roster body? Possibly. Can he do something? I don't know. But we definitely need to address the defensive line, whether it be free agency with DJ Reader, Calais Campbell, or through the draft. We can't go into the season with that as our, lineup for the defensive line. Moving on to the edge rushers. I think this is one of the more complete rooms. Depending on what happens with Kayvon Thibodeau, a lot of rumors of Kayvon Thibodeau being traded in the comment section. I do this every week, probably for the last couple of weeks. Do you guys want to trade Kayvon Thibodeau if it gets you a 3rd-round pick? Or I'm not even going to put the pick on. Do you guys want to trade Kayvon or keep Trayvon? Keep Trayvon. So just put in the comment section, trade or keep, depending on which way you guys are leaning. Let me know how you feel about Kayvon. But I'm going to keep going. After Kayvon, you got Trace Ford, who spent some time on the practice squad, UDFA that we picked up last year. Actually made some pretty good plays during the preseason. I was surprised that he didn't make the team. And then we signed Caleb Murphy back too. So outside of Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau is just a question mark because we don't know if we're going to keep him or not. We do need to add some depth. So that could be something that is addressed in day 3 for sure. With the edge room, or maybe they just want to go in with those 3. But I do like the rotation if we do keep Kayvon. So let's see what people are saying as far as Kayvon goes. Okay, hold on. Keep Tibbs. Revenge and Strife says Thibodeau to the Colts, I think. Justin Moore says keep. Who's this? Eric says trade. Dennis says keep. Mav says yes, trade. Money Mike says for a third, he out of here. Bama says keep him. Coach Ward says keep at this point. Don says yeah. King Chris TV says if we can get that's a no-brainer if we can get a second. We talked about last week possibly trading him straight up for Brian Thomas Jr. Hey. JDJ said Dash called them trade. Don't do that. Don't do that. I did not say that. I did not say that about Trade Von is wild, JDJ. I'm giving you all the credit for that one. Don't put that. I don't want that hoodoo on me. You came up with that name. Robert says trade. Joe Edwards says trade Tibbs. A lot of trades. I'm 50-50, Pete says. Is it McCann says I'm good with either one. Okay. Some people 50-50, some people don't. Okay. Son says trade, you have to pay him. Well, the money's already spent right now. It's all about is he in the future plans for the Giants. If he's a part of the future plans, then you probably get the deal done now. So the cap hit comes down from what is it, 14 right now with the 5th-year option. If he's in the plans for the future, you go ahead and re-sign him now. You bring the cap hits down, and you got a third, edge rusher in the rotation. Now, how much he wants to get paid, and him possibly not being a starter, got some decisions to make. Got some decisions to make. A lot of people saying keep him. All right. Somebody said, I think somebody's talking about Diggs. Mellow Trade says Diggs didn't take them to the Super Bowl at all. Check the stats. Oh, you arguing with somebody? I see. You must be arguing with somebody. I must have missed that one. I missed that conversation. Yeah, I missed that conversation. Trade Von. Now Trade Von is crazy. That's crazy. Look what you started, man. Look what you started. Justin says if we keep Evan Neal, then we can keep Tibbs. I'm not even putting him in the same boat. I like Tibbs. And whenever you see Tibbs's his social media, that man is always working, man. Shout out to Kayvon Thibodeau. I wish he would have I wish he just would have put better, not even better tape. I wish he would have been who we thought he was. And then we wouldn't be having these discussions of trading him or not. It would be just, we re-sign him. But he was like a late bloomer a little bit, right? Late bloomer. Last year, I think he was playing good ball before he went down. He was our best edge setting pass rusher. Tackles for loss. He was aggressive in the running game. He was solid. He was really holding Abdul Carter off. Then he got hurt. We saw what Abdul can do, and now it's not even a discussion. Now it's like he's either the third or we're going to trade him. He's either third in the rotation or we trade him. I do believe with Brian Burns, because Brian Burns plays through a lot of small injuries. He's always nicked up, banged up, but he plays through it. So it would be smart to have the best rotation at edge as possible to keep these guys fresh throughout the season. But again, you talk about Kayvon injury issues, not just this year. You got Brian Burns nicked up but plays through injuries, cool, and Abdul Carter, cool. Aziz was better than who? Aziz was flashing, man. Aziz, I liked Aziz. I wanted better for Aziz, but he couldn't stay healthy either. Aziz couldn't stay healthy. That was his issue. In a perfect world, if you're going back to 2020, what was it, 2022? If Aziz ended up being who he was supposed to be, and if Kayvon ended up being who he was supposed to be, then they would have been set at edge. They would have been set. Robbie says KT is all right. I wouldn't compare him to Evan Snackbar. Yeah, that's a little disrespectful. Comparing anybody to Evan Neal is disrespectful to that person you comparing to Evan Neal. Dealer says Tibbs is important to the rushing defense. That's a fact. As far as this year goes, he is a better option in the running game between him and he's a better against the running game against Burns too. He's a better run defender than Burns. And Burns is pretty good. Burns is better. Burns is light though. Burns is light. But Burns played better too this year. Let's see. Prentice for the $5 super chat says folks are forgetting that Tibbs won at least 2 to 3 games in 2023 against the Ravens. Yeah, he closed that game out. The Commanders, the sack with the scoop and score. Yep, a third in my opinion is too low. if we saw more of what we saw in that Ravens game, if we saw more of what we saw in that Commanders game, I thought it was like a coming out party for him. And then he went back. He regressed again. But if he was more that like Tibbs against the Commanders, if you got that same Tibbs that you get now, 2 games against the Commanders every year, if you got that for 6, well, if you got that for 8 to 10 games, then this wouldn't even be a discussion right now. But he flashes and then he disappears a little bit. But I think this year was his most consistent play, like game in and game out. He was making plays. So man, I like Tibbs, man. I like Tibbs a lot. I think he's important to what we have got going on. But again, with us not having that 3rd round pick, I think that's what it is. I think that's what's pushing it so much, because we don't have that 3rd round pick. Because we see some of these prospects, we're like, yeah, we can get more and more draft capital. Who can we look at on this team that's worth any kind of draft capital? In Tibbs, he expiring contract. It's not a guarantee that he's in the future plan, so of course it just makes the most sense. But I would rather keep Tibbs myself. If I can trade back at 37 and pick up an additional, do a pick swap in the 2nd round and pick up an additional 3rd, I would do that. I would definitely do that. Big Cat, Leonard Williams better than all of them. Yeah, that's a fact. And we're trying to find a replacement for Leonard Williams since he left. And we haven't found that yet. We got high hopes for Darius Alexander, but that's asking a lot of Darius Alexander too. So that's a fact deal. Big Cat was more vital than we even know. Big Cat was like the glue for that defensive line, to be honest. And we haven't found, like, as good as Dexter Lawrence is, he's not the glue for the defensive line. Leonard Williams was the glue, for sure. And I say that respectfully too. Shout out to Dope Dez. Says, Big Daz, can we really be better than Thibodeau? What? Big Dash, can we really be better than Thibodeau in the draft? Get better? Or somebody better? Is that what you're saying? I mean, there's some options out there. There's some good edge rushers out there. I don't think they're better than Tibbs right now today. But again, it's not like Tibbs is outstanding either. Tibbs is solid. I think he can be outstanding. He just hasn't gotten there yet. We haven't seen it. Tyrone Hall says can't have too many pass rushers. You can never have enough. And us as Giants fans, we should know that the most. Every time we won a Super Bowl, we had a fantastic rotation on defense of pass rushers, defensive line, people getting to the quarterback for sure. Dennis says, anyone who thinks Tibbs isn't good or Azeez was better know nothing about football is honestly laughable. One thing I will say about Azeez Ojulari, Azeez had some fantastic bend off the edge. He was quick. Like his bend was fantastic. Again, can't stay healthy though. Son says, damn, man, I don't even like talking about big. Yeah, man. But without that trade, you don't get Brian Burns, though. I guess that was a good thing. Well, wait a minute. Was the big Cat trade? Okay, yeah. Because Kadarius Toney got us Waller, and I think the Leonard trade got us Brian Burns. Yeah, because we got a 2 for Brian. We got a 2 for Leonard. Yeah, that's what got us Brian Burns. Yep. X-Men says the Giants definitely need to trade back into this in the 2nd to pick up an additional 3rd or 5th. He said the Giants are trying to build this team through the draft. That's what Harbaugh does. That's what I want to do too. You build through the draft, you keep your cap healthy. That's the best way to do it. Having young, good talent, young, good, cheap talent is how you build, is how you keep your cap healthy. At some point in time, if everything goes well in a perfect world, Jackson Dart is who we think he is. Will become the franchise quarterback. And you got to pay a franchise quarterback. So you better be able to draft very well in order to, because you got to pay him whatever you got to pay him. And you got to hope that some of the other players are cheap and good. But yeah, got to have enough money. Wait a minute. Bama McDabbles. Fantastic name, first off, fantastic name. No 3rd rounder will have a bigger impact than Tibbs. Yeah, yeah. I almost wanted to push back a little bit, but I can't prove it. I can't prove you wrong. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Dealer says who is or was better, Dash Tibbs or oh boy. Right now it'd be Kiwanuka. Right now it would be Kiwanuka for me. And I kind of didn't like when they moved him. When they moved Kiwanuka to outside linebacker, I didn't like it, but he was still productive. But that Jerry Reese was just drafting edge rushers like crazy though. Who came first? Was it Kiwanuka or JPP? Who came first? Pause. But Kiwanuka came first. Okay, yeah, Kiwanuka did come first. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to think like because Kiwanuka wasn't there for the third Super Bowl, I should say. But he was there for the other one. Yeah. Was that back-to-back years? It was Kiwanuka, then JPP. That had to be back-to-back years, right? I think it had to be back-to-back years. All right, so now let's talk about these linebackers now. we got sidetracked for like 20 minutes. So we talked about the edge room linebacker. Now a lot of us are pleased with the Tremont Edmonds pickup. Happy to get some extra insurance with Micah McFadden, but is he really insurance because he's coming off of an injury? So right now, Darius Muasau is your third linebacker. I don't like Muasau that much. I don't like Muasau. I just see I spelled his name wrong. I dropped the A, but I don't like Muasau that much. I don't trust him as the first linebacker off the bench. I would like him more if he was linebacker 4. But yeah, I think that Zaire Barnes played better in his few amount of snaps than Darius Muasau. That linebacker room needs some help, man. Linebacker room needs some help. I see you're still talking about those. You start talking about them older Giants, man. You see the chat. They talking about OC. Now they bringing up Tuck. Yeah, don't forget about Tollefson too, man. In that first Super Bowl, Dave Tollefson came in the rotation. He was putting in work too. Yeah. See, me and Dealer be thinking the same. We be thinking the same, Dealer. Sometimes, I should say most of the time. Most of the time, we on the same wavelength, man, for sure. Yeah, this linebacker room needs some help. I'd rather have Demetrius Flanagan Fowles back over Muasau. Man, listen, linebacker room need help. I don't think it's much to say outside of that. Definitely need some help. Well, he said most of the time. Yeah, most of the time. I would say a good 80%. I would say a good 80% of the time. Shout out to my man Dealer. Another fantastic Giants content creator. If you guys are not subscribed to my man Dealer, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Especially with the short format stuff too, man. Yeah, love Dealer, man. So yeah, I'm gonna leave as far as the linebackers go. I'm gonna just say yes. We need all the help possible. Mark Thompson, see my comment on the linebackers 22. Hold on. Let's see. Where you at, Mark? I didn't see it, Mark. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Hold on. Can I find it? You guys got the chat going tonight, man. Oh, here we go. All right, Mark says got Edmonds, but I want Styles. He's a franchise guy, a guy he represents, a guy he represents an organization. He will stop the run and cover. He will be your leader on defense, on defense. Consolation prize downs, but I want Styles. You've been on this for the longest. You have not changed your thoughts at all, Mark. Solid with the Styles. I'm with you with the Styles. as well. I think he will be a fantastic prospect to add. And to your point, all around good player, high upside, very very high ceiling. Again, only 2 years playing off ball linebacker, not even a true 2 years playing off ball linebacker, and he's popping like the way he's popping. I wish he would be a little bit more violent. When it comes to laying the wood, pause, but you know what I mean. But I do like him a lot. He tackles a little bit high, but the man's 6'5", man. You can't blame him for tackling high. How low you want him to get? But Sonny, I don't think you can go wrong with Sonny Styles. When you look at this safety room, we're gonna get to that safety room in a second. Like the glaring hole for me at 5, with as far as talent and who might be available, to me it seems like a no-brainer for Sonny Styles. Just look at this room: Tremaine Edmonds, Micah McFadden coming off an injury, Darius Moore-Salles, Zaire Barnes, Swayze. Give me Sonny Styles. If it said Tremaine Edmonds, Sonny Styles, Micah McFadden, and Darius Moore-Salles, I'm pretty sure everybody would feel a lot better. A lot better. Let me get back down to the comment section. Okay, so next, cornerback room. Cornerback room is a question mark. Poston Debo got big money. But I don't think we got our money's worth. Greg Newsome is going to be a new addition. Love Drew Phillips. Love how aggressive Drew Phillips is. I would be lying to you guys if I didn't say or point out that he's kind of a liability beyond 15 yards. Penalties as well. We've seen him continue some drives with his penalties, holding and stuff like that. Tay Banks is probably, I want to say, a question mark, because I would hope that Denard Wilson and his defensive staff gets the best out of Tay Banks. If you can somehow do something with Tay Banks, that would be big. That would be big. Then you got Corey Black, Art Green, and Corey Black. Man, Corey Black still rubs me the wrong way, because he left for the Jets thinking the grass was going to be green over there, and he was buried on the bench over there too. And he's lucky that we brought him back. He rubbed me the wrong way a little bit when he made that decision to just go ahead and bounce. We were going to put him on the practice squad too. He had a pretty good chance of actually making it back on the active roster too, but he decided to skate and go somewhere else. So I'm looking at him with the side eye. Art Green, solid. Nick Jones, solid depth. Special teams. Rico Payton. The only reason why we signed him, he made the 53 over Corey Black, and we put him on the IR right after that. And then we really didn't see Rico Payton play until what? Late in the year. So I don't know. Dealer says, I'm not against taking Love. That's a move for the future. He had a higher yard per carry average than Saquon in college, believe it or not, by basically a full yard. I think that, like I said, I just think it's deja vu. I'm of the belief that it's about a wrong strutting game. Strutting, good Lord. A strong running game, not a strong running back. So my philosophy is, as long as the running game is strong, I don't need a bell cow. I don't need a workhorse. Like last year, we still we're 5th in rushing in the league, and not one of our rushers got over 1,000 yards. Rushing. So I'm with the running back by committee right now. I'm with that. I've seen Saquon Barkley go off, and the New York Giants never left the ground. Now, that's just how I feel. But obviously, you got to build a team around it too, because if you have a better running back, then it becomes a Philly situation where you add Saquon Barkley to a team that's good already, and then he can get you over the hump. But you just can't rely on a running back to carry you to the promised land if you ain't got nothing else around him. Look at Tennessee with Derrick Henry. All those stats piling up. Did they make it to the Super Bowl? Nope. One and done in the playoffs and stuff like that. We saw with us and Saquon Barkley. Even in the 2022 season, that's the most he carried us ever. And it still got us, but so far. So for me, it's about a solid running game, not a solid running back at the end of it. Well, it's about a stellar running game and not just a individual running back. That's a better way to explain. Tyrone Hall says Debo stole money. He kind of did. He kind of did. Mark Thompson says, I'm hoping the system and the coaching will improve the cornerback play, but I can see us investing draft capital for a cornerback. I think so too. It just depends on where you get that. Again, the third round, having a third round pick is valuable. It's valuable. I do. Again, we all do mock drafts here for the most part, and there's some cornerbacks that you can get in the fourth round. Malik Muhammad is a name, but again, when a lot of times when we're drafting people in a mock draft and we see them available in the fourth round, they usually go around early. We've seen that before. Guys go early. But I can definitely see them addressing the cornerback room. There's some day three guys like Tacario Davis, 6'4", 200-pound cornerback out of Washington, also played at Arizona. You got Ephesians Prysock, his teammate at Washington, also at Arizona, another 6'3", 6'4" cornerback. Decent speed for those guys. It might be a little bit handsy too, but they fit what Denard Wilson is wanting to do. So there's some guys for sure. Cornerbacks. Who else? They got the kid, the other corner from Michigan. Name is escaping me right now. Not Davison and Benison. Shout out to Union Fighting Farmers, but he's another one. But he possibly goes in the second to early third round. So there's some cornerbacks out there, but I don't know if they're going to be in the range unless we take one at 37. Then you got like Chris Johnson. You got Abney. You got Colton Hood that might be there. Some of those guys. It just depends on where you're picking at. And then the safety room. Again, safety room. Somebody said it was suspect. It just depends on how you look at it. Glass half full, glass half empty type of approach. Javon Holland. The thing with us, what we're looking for is, can Tyler Nubin be better? Or are we already out on Tyler Nubin? A lot of people are out already on Tyler Nubin. Javon Holland's like, okay, well, we're paying you a lot of money. Are we going to get our money's worth? Same. He's in the same boat as Poston and Debo for me. But I do believe in this more aggressive defense, you will see a more production from these guys. Again, defensive schemes matter, especially when you have players with certain skill sets. A press, whether it's full on press like press man or zone press. Poston and Debo should thrive in that. Even Tate Banks should thrive in that. Greg Newsome should thrive in that. Being more aggressive on the back end, Javon Holland should thrive in that. If Tyler Nubin can take the correct angles, Lord forgive me. It was sometimes I saw Tyler Nubin, I'm like, what are you doing? Especially in that Philly game, man. That Philly game when Barkley broke off that long run, just one of the worst angles I ever seen in my life. And they teach you angles in Pee Wee. So, then after that, again, Ardarius Washington, I like to pick up aggressive, feisty, brings a certain temperament to this defense that we've been missing. I like that. Same thing with Jason Pinnock, another one, aggressive, can make some plays for sure. Not the best tackler, but willing. I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Pinnock started over Tyler Nubin either. Somebody said that earlier. Javon Holland, Jason Pinnock. And the funny thing is Tyler Nubin played better with Jason Pinnock back there than he did with Javon Holland. And then after that, you got Raheem Lane and Bo Braid. Again, we're talking about camp bodies, 90-man rosters, and I say that respectfully. Raheem Lane had a couple of good plays at the end of the season when he did play more. But yeah, that's it for those guys, man. That's it. And we're going to switch over to the offense and before we get out of here. But shout out to again, we're still 300 strong in the building. If you have not yet hit that like button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Again, I appreciate the love and support. A lot of Giants content creators, they'll say, yeah, super chats, memberships, all this other stuff. Hitting that like button is free, and it does a lot, especially when it comes to this YouTube algorithm, the mystery of the algorithm. I appreciate all the love and support, man. Whatever you guys do, no, I appreciate it all, man. And hopefully for the new people, first time being here, hopefully you feel the love, you feel the Giants community on this channel and on this live. Again, this is a family reunion, late night Giants talk. Let me go ahead and switch. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I saw this. Shout out to Prentice. Oh, I got two of them. Hold on. I got that one. No, I didn't get that one. Oh no, I did get that one. Shout out to Prentice. He's bringing up somebody that's going to be a gem for a team that drafts him. Do you think Keontae Scott is there in the fourth? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're talking about a 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 200-pound slot cornerback out of Miami. Aggressive. He's like Andrew Phillips on steroids, the taller, bigger, faster version. I don't know if he's really fast. Andrew Phillips is not slow. But Keontae Scott is a good player, and he's one of those players that I hope don't end up on the Eagles. I hope he doesn't end up on the Cowboys. Hope he doesn't end up on the Commanders. But most of the time, a player like of that caliber ends up on one of those teams, and you just like, how the hell did that guy just fall into their laps? I will say with Philly doing everything that they did, it's less of a chance that Keontae Scott makes it to the Eagles with all the moves they made in the secondary the past couple of years. But Keontae Scott would be a fantastic pickup. I like him a lot. I wish he played outside more too. Is he capable of playing outside? We don't know. The majority of his snaps is in the slot. But I like him a lot. If we picked him up, I think he would start right away over Drew Phillips. I do believe that. But yeah. Wait a minute, Scott is a 6. Hold on, I gotta do the math now. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. You guys can hear me typing. I know Miami had him at like 6. Oh wow, Miami lied to us. Miami had him at like 6'1", 6'2". That's why you can't trust the colleges. Combine got him at 5'11", 193 pounds. Miami had him at like 6'1", 202 pounds. PFF had him that high too. Thank you for the fact check. Please. Thank you. Keep me on my toes. Keep me honest. I appreciate that. If I'm saying something wrong, I'd rather be called out right away. Thank you very, very much. Because I would have been saying it for weeks. Because I damn sure didn't check his height and weight. I just, outside of what I saw on the Miami website, and then also PFF too. So they got to make those corrections, man. I get caught up all the time, stuff like that. True Baller says, off topic, but your cartoon avatar is just a shade too light. LOL, he looks Puerto Rican. Call him Grande Estelarse. He's just a tad too light. I don't know, man. You see me. You see me. My mom's a super light. But hey, a tad too light. I go shade darker. That's what you call. They made me that color. That's what the I forgot what system I used. I put in a real picture of myself, and he came out that complexion, so I kept it. It is what it is. Dealer says, if AJ does leave Philly, who do you think takes his spot? Even though it almost seems like he may be staying as of right now, changes every day. Yeah, I heard earlier today, they said that they're out. It was the Patriots. It was the Patriots and somebody else that were involved. And they said it's a no-go now. And usually when they say it's a no-go, they're just playing hardball. They want their price. But if they replace, if Philly loses them, it depends on when they lose them. It depends on when if they because Jahan Dotson's gone too now, right? He's not a free agent anymore. Somebody picked him up too, right? So now you're just talking about Devontae Smith as your Devonta Smith as your wide receiver one. They'll probably just find you know how Philly does. Players just fall in their laps in the draft, man. Whether it's trades, they just end up with players. It's some type of black magic they got going on over there. For them, it's just magic. For us, it's black magic in the division. Gangstar says Darnell Mooney. I like the pickup. It calms me down a bit. It does that does move the needle a little bit more. Because you get Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin's fantastic for what he does, but it really doesn't move the needle. Adding Darnell Mooney and a Calvin Austin to the room with Neighbors does move the needle a little bit, but it does not stop you from drafting a wide receiver, in my opinion. It might stop you from drafting one at 5, but it shouldn't. I don't think it should though. Pete says college rosters always lying, and they had safety. Yeah. 6'4". I'm telling you, I remember Kentucky had Wandell at 5'10" or 5'11" when he was coming out. And I remember watching him and Will Levis watching Kentucky, and the one thing about Wandell Robinson, and when you watch the highlights of Wandell Robinson at Kentucky, he would just break off a 60-yard run and get caught on like the 3-yard line. Mad, a bunch of yak, but he'll take it 60, 70 yards and just get tackled at the 5. It was just crazy. But yeah, but shout out to Wandell, man. I'm glad he got paid. Best of luck to him, man. It's hard not to root for a player like Wandell Robinson. Dotson went to Atlanta. Okay, thank you. If AJ is gone, I don't know, man. I hope they replace AJ with a trash can. Yeah, me too. Me too. Let's switch over to the offensive side. Well, we already at the 2-hour mark. We going over 2 hours. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody still vibing with me. We're gonna do the defense, and then we're gonna get out of here after I finish doing the defense. Let's see where we at. Yeah, I'm sorry, the offense. Once we do the offense. All right. Let's talk about this offense. This is the pre-draft, rendition of the offensive roster. Obviously, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, don't have to say much about that. The quarterback room. They most likely add a third quarterback, emergency quarterback. Who that person could be, I don't know. Don't care, really. As long as Jameis Winston is healthy, he's QB2. Love Winston. Love what he brings to the team. Love his energy. Love the guidance for Jackson Dart. Love to have somebody that's grounded in that room for Jackson Dart. So don't want to talk about the quarterback room at all. Running back room, since everybody's talking about Jeremiah Love possibly going at 5, this is where we could have this conversation. Right now, today, Cam Scatterboo is running back 1, Tyrone Tracy running back 2, Devin Singletary running back 3, and then Eric Gray and Turbo Miller are still on the squad. What's fake news? Robin said fake. Yeah, fake news for these colleges with these measurables, man. It's crazy. Love Denzel Boston too. Quick change of subject. I don't think Denzel Boston lasts to 37 though. I don't think so. Gangster, I hope so. We're gonna top the NFC East. I hope we do it right away. That's what Harbaugh wants. And who am I to say something different from Harbaugh? If he think this team can compete this year, I'm with him. I'm riding with him. Cam Scatterboo, running back 1. Like, how do we feel about the running back room? Somebody was saying that Tyrone Tracy, 27 years old. I think all healthy. I think the running back room is pretty solid. Having Devin Singletary at a cheaper price and your third running back, I think that's pretty good. Does that stop you from drafting a running back? It absolutely doesn't. You always want to compete and be better. But I think it stops us from taking one at 5. But if we did take Love at 5, I would just grit and bear it. It like, you can't do nothing about it. I would root for him, but I would wonder, how many touches Cam Scatterboo gets. Like, I like Tracy too. I like Tracy, what he brings to the table too. I noticed that with the addition of Cam Scatterboo, the whole running back room ran a little bit harder. They had a little bit more physicality just because Cam Scatterboo was rubbing off on him. So I do like that part of it. But when you just look at the running back room, I'm not mad if that was the top 3 running backs going into the season. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm not panicking over the running back room. But also, you can always improve. My man True Baller says, I'm tired of Singletary. We could be tired of Singletary. The money that he's making right now and being a running back 3, I'm cool with it. I thought there was a chance that Keith Mitchell might come over from Baltimore, but he ended up getting signed somewhere else. He was a name that people were talking about. I wanted to bring in Tyler Algier. He got signed by the Cardinals. Rico Dowdle went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wasn't really on the Kenneth Walker train. I didn't want to have to pay a running back big top dollar. But I'm cool with the running back room right now. I'm cool with the running back room. Culture 9084 or 9084 says wide receiver Chris Bell You think he drops even with the injury? You think he drops all the way to the 4th? He might. He might. It depends on when they have an idea of him being healthy too. Densley says keep him. Talking about Singletary. Okay. I like the running back room. I'm not mad at the running back room if this is what we went into the season with. Do I think they add an additional running back? Absolutely. Whether it's a UDFA, whether it's a late round pick, maybe it's another free agent. I think they add to the 90-man roster, but I don't think it's the end of the world if you went into week 1 with Cam Scatterbull healthy. If they're all healthy, of course. Cam Scatterbull, Tyrone Trace, and Devin Singletary. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Dope Dad says we have so many needs. We need a Derrick Henry game-changing back. The kid from Arkansas, man, before he went to the combine and ran a 4.33, I thought he would be somebody that you can possibly get in the day 3, whether it be the 4th or 5th round. You got guys like Nick Singleton from Penn State. You got Allen from Penn State. You got the other running back from Notre Dame, Price. You got it's a lot of running backs, man. It's a lot of running backs. You obviously got the kids from Indiana. Both of them. You can always find running backs. Yeah, true ball, Jadarian Price. Yeah, that's the other one from Notre Dame. I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind Nick Singleton. A lot of people are down on Nick Singleton. I still think he got big run capability, big play capability. Dealer says I do like Jeremiah Love, but would he be good for Scat? No, he wouldn't. And Scat is good for the Giants. Just the energy alone, we saw the energy level change when Scatterbull was no longer in the lineup. As good as Jackson Dart played, the heartbeat of the New York Giants in 2025 was Cam Scatterbull. I'm not arguing. You can go argue with your mama about it. The heart and soul of the New York Giants was Cam Scatterbull last year. Like, I don't even think it's a question. Offense and defense, Scatterbull was that. He needs to get touches. He needs to get the majority of the touches. He just wears down a defense. And if you bring in your bell cow running back, I think you reduce his impact. You reduce Scatterbull's impact. Now, you might get more impact, a home run hitter and stuff like that from another running back. But for me, I keep seeing you saying Ahmad Hardy from Missouri. I got to check him out. But yeah, I would check out Ahmad Hardy. But yeah, for me, I'm cool with what it looks like right now. What's going on, John Russo? What's going on? Shout out to my man Jose in the building too. Shout out to everybody in the building. Moving along, because we can talk about running backs all night. Wide receivers. That wide receiver room. Again, I've calmed down on the wide receiver room, but we still need help in the wide receiver room. Let's be honest. Let's go. Neighbors is Neighbors. We won't need to say much about him, but hopefully he comes back healthy, and hopefully, healthy first physically and mentally, so he can be a top performer again. But again, Darnell Mooney signed today. I feel a little bit better. Darius Slayton, we already know we're ready to throw tomatoes at him already. Shout out to my man R0B in the building with the $5 super chat. He says, much love, Big Dash. Hope this draft is good. I hope so, man. Shout out to my man R0B too, man. If you're not subscribed to my man Rob, go ahead and do that too. And also, if anybody is on Twitter or X that they call right now, you see the giant spaces, my man Rob is hosting, it's about to be fire. Put your seatbelt on too, because it get active in the spaces on Twitter for sure. It's not for the weak. Not for the weak at all. And not for the thin-skinned either. Shout out to my man Rob in the building. What's going on, Rob? The wide receiver room, it needs some help. Like everybody, you see the list here. Everybody after Hodgins, respectfully, it don't even matter. Don't even matter. They can be replaced. We talk about Gunnar Olszewski and special teams. Well, you got Calvin Austin. Gunner's expendable. Cambry is fantastic on special teams, but again, it needs to be renovated. Imagine that same lineup. The first 4 guys, you got your Neighbors, Mooney, Slayton, Austin, Even if you want to add Hodgins, imagine another name like Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper. Omar Cooper might go in the first round now, though. A Malachi Fields, possibly. A Skylar Bell. You feel even better. You can kick your feet up a little bit. Hyatt is the water boy. If that, man. And you guys know how I feel about. I was rooting for Hyatt, and he just let me down, man. Too many times. I can't push for him anymore. Why do I still have hope for Hyatt? Because you're a good person. That's why. Because if you're like me and you're a Bama fan, I'm assuming you might be a Bama fan since Bama's in your name. You remember that game against Tennessee when the man scored 5 touchdowns against us, right? Took us behind the barn and put the Beats by Dre on us. Like, you know what I mean? Just my thoughts. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for being in here, tuning and vibing with me, man. But this wide receiver room definitely. We're coming out of the draft with at least one wide receiver. I would assume at least one. Preferably, one of the names that we talked about. You might see a Ted Hurst last to the 4th round, possibly, maybe. He might be a gem. Yeah, but after that, you got like Kevin Coleman, but I don't think we need another slot receiver after you add, Austin. Mooney can give you a little bit of slot help too. Neighbors is fantastic on the inside. Dad's Life said Collins looked promising before the injury. Yeah, but he had a couple of big drops too, man. Ford Expedition said Hyatt was my guy too, man. I wish nothing but the best. If Hyatt can actually play and they can get something out of him, cool. Illuminati says Hyatt is the NFL equivalent to Ben Simmons, and you see I said equivalent. Better than what's his name? I didn't mean to make fun of him. Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. But yeah, man, equivalent. Man couldn't say it at all. Brazel is another one, Wills. Brazel or Fields. We have a bunch of 6-foot speed guys. Yeah, big receivers who can block, allows for more variety on play action. Yeah, when you look at the wide receiver room, like all these contracts are nothing outside of Neighbors. Mooney ain't really making no money. Slayton making money. Austin ain't really making no money. Hodges ain't making any money. Like that wide receiver room could look absolutely different after the draft. It could look absolutely different when you cut down to the 53, depending on who might get waived from other teams. Even though I don't think we're doing a lot of waiver shopping like we did before. But that definitely needs some help in the wide receiver room. Now let's go to the offensive line. You see, I have the predicted right now starting offensive line. I got Thomas, no surprise, at left tackle. Reluctantly, John Runyon at left guard. I think he's, again, the weakest link on the offensive line, even weaker than JMS, and JMS is my son. JMS at center. Right now, I have penciled in Marcus Bowe at right guard, but he has never played guard before. But when I'm just looking at the rest of the roster and the reserves, it just makes sense to me. People talked about him and his shorter arms and possibly being able to play guard, so I just put him there for right now. Again, I think it's a hole right now. We do need to address the right guard spot. And then right tackle, Illuminor. And then you see the reserves. You got Jake Kubis, which a lot of people like, who's a UDFA. You got Evan Neal, who came back on a wink and a prayer. You got Aaron Stinney, who I believe is quality depth that you don't really want to see play. Chris Hudson is a backup center, reserve role. Where'd he come out of? Louisville. A lot of people are fans of Hudson. Haven't got a chance to see him play a lot. Played in the preseason, did pretty good. And then Holsky, who I think his first name is Reed. I keep on forgetting that he's even on the team. So I'm assuming that the New York Giants draft at least 2 offensive linemen. At least 2. At least 2 offensive linemen in the draft. If we don't draft at least 2 offensive linemen, I'm going to be upset. I'm upset right now that we don't have a starting right guard that you can pencil in. I would love to have GVR back, but that's not even saying much, respectfully, because I like GVR. But it's a lot of replaceable. When you look, like, shout out to my man that said it earlier, the entire offensive line, interior offensive line, sorry, the entire interior offensive line is replaceable. I like Marcus Bowe right now as a swing tackle. Think he needs it. If he is the swing tackle for another year, that's cool. He can continue to develop and get better. And then you need to make the the decision this year of what you want to address. Because John Runyon, again, as much money that he's making, he's going to be a free agent. You need to think ahead. You need to find a replacement for these guys. You need to find replacement guard, replacement center for JMS. Because I don't know what JMS is going to ask for. Because this is a contract year for him, and if he plays well, I hope he does. But if he does play well, he's going to ask for some money. And the way that Linderbaum got paid, which he'll be crazy to ask for, a crazy amount of money because he's not Tyler Linderbaum. Tyler Linderbaum ain't even worth the money that he got. He's worth every dollar. But I'm just saying, as far as for the New York Giants, we're not paying the center $27 million. But everybody in the interior offensive line is replaceable. The majority of the mock drafts that I have, I'm replacing this offense. I got 3 offensive. In every mock draft I've done, I've drafted at least three offensive linemen. At least 3. And I'm looking at a replacement for JMS. And I want JMS to succeed, because if there was anybody that was as big of a fan of JMS, it was me. I still get talked about to this day about being so crazy and wild about JMS. He was the best center. I thought he would be, plug and play. He was plug and play, but he has not lived up to what he was in college. But I'm still looking at his replacement. But I'm drafting I'm drafting guard. Every time I get a chance to draft Keelan Rutledge, I do it. Jennings Dunker, I do it. Sometimes if I trade back, depending on how far I trade back, I go for the Penn State guard. Sometimes at 5, I might take Maui Noah. If I trade back to like 7 or 8, maybe not 7 because that's the Commanders, I might look at Maui Noah. I haven't done Fano too much because I don't know. So it might just be some bias for me with Fano. But I'm looking at Casey from Boise State was another one that I like. Brian Parker from Duke, right tackle, projected to be a right guard. Some people say he can even play center. He's another one. You got the Iowa, the kid from Iowa, can't remember his name right now, but the center Logan Jones is another one later on. The center from Indiana is another one. It's a lot of offensive line prospects that can sit behind certain people for a year and be ready to go in 2027. And I think offensive line definitely needs to be addressed because you have a rookie quarterback who we think is the future. We got to start we can't do him like we did Eli Manning. We need to find him an offensive line for real. Last year was fantastic. A lot of people saying, Dash, why are you worried about it? The offensive line has been the best that has ever been. Cool. I want it to be better, even better. So that's the offensive line. Then lastly, tight ends. And then we're going to do a couple of comments after that. And then we're going to wrap up and get up out of here. So tight end, Isaiah Likely, fantastic. Theo Johnson becomes tight end 2. Going to see a lot of 12 personnel. That's going to happen. 12 personnel that looks like 11 personnel because, Isaiah Likely is the big slot. Chris Manhertz, if he actually makes it on the field, that's one thing. Another thing when it comes to that, though, that it didn't add on this list was fullback because there's only one of them. And we know that Ricard sometimes is in line playing tight end. So Isaiah Likely makes the roster. Theo Johnson makes the roster. When I started looking at Chris Manhertz and Thomas Fidone, and then Tanner O'Connor is a name on the roster again, didn't even know he existed until I started looking at the roster, Giants.com. But I'm looking at Chris Manhertz. How much value does he have on the team if Ricard can also play, tight end? And then I don't want to give up on Thomas Fidone because I think he can be exactly what Theo Johnson is right now and even more if he plays more. But I got to worry about injury history with Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson gets banged up, he's down. I don't want to rely on Chris Manhertz being tight end too. Give me somebody with a little bit more play, and I think Thomas Fidone is that. So, how y'all feel about the tight end room, man? I'm not mad at it at all. I like having Likely, brings you something different. Maybe he becomes really what we thought Waller was going to be when we got him. Even more. That would be fantastic. Theo Johnson, if he just holds on to the ball and becomes a little bit of a better blocker, that'd be fantastic growth for him. But Thomas Fidone, to me, is the X factor. Figuring out what Thomas Fidone is the X factor for me. And then also, how Shane gets. They might feel bad for Shane with all the changes and say, you know what, guy, you in the 6th round, we got 3 picks. You go ahead and draft your tight end since you like to draft tight end so much. Since you like to draft tight ends so much, go ahead, Shane. You can have that last pick and go ahead and take your tight end at the end of the draft. I don't know. Shout out to my man James in the building. What's going on, James? What's going on, James? How you been? He says, stop rooting for guys who can't get off the bench. Yeah, we're a little bit guilty of that. We're a little bit guilty. A little bit guilty. You see, I retired the hat, James. You can't even find a hide his open hat in my house anymore. Where Joe Ferris at, man? Good Lord. Hold on. Did I miss? Oh, no, I think I'm all caught up. Yeah, I'm all caught up on the super chats. Cool. GBR would be serviceable. Yep. I think GBR is the fourth best offensive lineman. Actually, he might be the third. They go, yeah, hold on. AT, Illuminor, GBR, then JMS, then Runyon. And I think Marcus Bowles better than Runyon. We got to figure out a way to possibly get Bow in the starting lineup. But again, we haven't seen him play guard. Tyrone says Lakers Nuggets in the barn burner in OT. Well, at least drop the score. Let me know. At least drop the score. Ione, yeah, Pete Wine says Ione, Biznati, and then Pregnon. Okay. Yeah, but also those guys, well, not Ione because he'll be gone, but Pregnon, he might be gone too. But by the time we get to 37, Biznati might be there though. Paulie says our offense was pretty good last year. I almost guarantee they are drafting interior linemen in the second round. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I want to go defensive line in the second round because I think Lee Hunter is really going to be there, and I would love to see Lee Hunter play next to Dex. I would love to see Lee Hunter. Period. Stacey says Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech at guard would be nice. He's plug and play, man. He has the temperament that you're looking for. Nasty, physical, also athletic, sneaky athletic for his size, good feet, can get to the second level. I like Rutledge a lot. Paulie says I like Sonny Styles, but he has given me. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Come on. Come on, I heard somebody else say that too, man. Nah, man. Isaiah Simmons didn't really have a home, right? He was a hybrid. He was the what did they call him? He's a utility knife, is what they called him, right? Utility knife. No, Sonny Styles is an off-ball linebacker, and you're going to treat him as such. You're not going to play around because remember with Isaiah Simmons, they would put him in a box, let him play a little center field, do a little pass rush, and he never found a true home. I'm not going to put him in the same boat as Sonny Styles. Now you talk about measurables, body type, stuff like that, then okay, but we're still talking about somebody that's 6'5", 250 pounds almost, and I believe Simmons was roughly around 225, 230. But yeah, man, I understand the fear though. I understand the fear for sure. My man Mark Thompson says, I can truly say that this free agency has reduced some needs, but more importantly, reduces our desperation in the draft. I do believe so. But I do think if we pick up an additional guard, whether it's Zeitler, whether it's Teller, whether it's GBR, it'll help calm me down a little bit more. Atlantic says, no Daniel Bellinger sucks, but Fedoni step up would be fantastic if Fedoni stepped up for sure. Then, I wish we would have got a chance to see him this year. The draft is strong at tight end. It is. And it's all throughout the draft too. Almost in that, you can almost find a gym in almost every round. I wonder if there's like if there's a stretch where they just go tight end heavy. I think that's what's going to happen with the wide receivers though. Once like obviously the top like Tate, Lemon, Tyson, you're going to have that kind of a run. But I'm curious to see where like the Omar Coopers and the Concepcions go. And what's the kid from Georgia, Branch? Curious to see where those guys go, Denzel Boston, because that's when you're going to see a run on wide receivers. That's when that's when the panic's going to hit. And you might see a run on wide receivers. Prentice J said, I wouldn't pay JMS not even a down payment on the free lunch. That's hilarious. 120. Oh, yeah, it is barn burner. Okay. Gangsta says no. Okay. Styles is a leader. Simmons isn't. That's a good way to put it too. Will says Simmons wanted to stay at safety. I remember that. Styles embraced linebacker. He will be much more successful. I hope so. Again, the like his ceiling is through ceiling is literally through the roof. Um, Pete Weiner says that's the thing. 1 year at linebacker, a year and a half, year and a half. If you're talking about Styles, a year and a half, year and a half. All right, I think we caught up. Neighbors in Boston. I would like that matchup too. Neighbors in Boston would be a fantastic duo. I do believe so. Just like Tate, like obviously I think Tate is the best complement to Neighbors. When you think about Jordan Tyson could be like a wide receiver 1A or 1B to Malik Neighbors at his ceiling. Mekhi Lemon is a slot, but a fantastic slot. His ceiling is like Amon Ra. He got that kind of big playability. Not a burner for real, but can do some things, after the catch. A healthy Chris Bell. If you're able to stash him for a year or whenever he's ready, that would be a nice big physical wide receiver too. Elijah Sherrod is a number 2 to everybody. I like Omar Cooper. Like the wide receiver prospects are fantastic. I like it a lot, man. Paulie D says it's genius the Giants are giving players who had a down 2025 season, but were great in previous seasons, a 1 year prove it deal. True. I think we are catching lightning in a bottle. I hope so. And I think that's what they're trying to do too. Because when you got all these guys on 1 year deals that have had success before, they're trying to prove themselves so they can get the bag again. So we're going to see guys like Mooney. You're going to see the best Mooney because of the contract. Calvin Austin, the best version of him because of the contract, being in the contract year. Darius Washington on the defensive side, contract year. A lot of these players are going to be in contract. You're going to get the best out of them. And who knows? The Giants might go on a run. I'm going to say that a little bit early, but I'm going to say that quietly. Say it quietly. Not trying to jump out any windows right now. So Icy says, I like Malachi Fields. I like him too, but the hype died down a little bit since the Senior Bowl. The hype it died down a little bit, and you saw him start to drop in the rankings again. Because at a point in time, you saw Malachi Fields going like the second round, and then when he got the blessing from Steve Smith and he made the top 10 of Steve Smith, it's just like, oh, okay. And I think Steve Smith had him like 7. I don't know about that. Dope said this says Big Dash. Do you think Scat and Leak will really be themselves when the season starts? I think Scat will be. Leak is a wait and see for me. He already told you he's not going to rush anything. So I'm just sitting there like, I hope so. But to him, for him also, is about him being mentally ready to go too. How much he trusts, his knee, his repaired knee and all that other stuff. And once he gets that trust mentally back, then he'll be back. He'll be really back. We did not mention any Jacoby Lane. Yeah, he's another one. Jacoby Lane is another one. He most likely goes. I could see him going late 2, early 3rd round now. Before they had him all the way in like the 4th and 5th round. Well, 4th round. But I think Jacoby Lane with them big ass hands that he got, and how smooth he looked catching the ball. The ball did not move once it hit the mitts. So I think they value that too. And also, he can run pretty well. He's tall, reliable, can catch. Yeah. Okay, John Russo says, Big Dash, what do you think our records will be this year? Our record, oh man. Last year I had a range of 6 to 9 wins. Didn't come close. Right now I like 7 to 10 wins, but we'll see what happens, man. I jumped out the window too many times with early predictions. I want to see these guys play on the field first before I get too excited. Hopefully this time around I've learned, but I've been a Giants fan for a long time, and I've jumped out of a lot of windows and have fallen right on my face. A massive coin says Chase Roberts, wide receiver out of BYU. I wish he would have ran a little bit faster. He's a possession receiver. He might end up being a better pro than a college player possibly, but I wish he would have ran a little bit faster. But again, a lot of people saw Puka Nacua go crazy, and his 40 wasn't nothing. Eric says 12-5. One shot D says 10-7. I hear you. Gangstar says 9 and 8. Ant 10 says 300 plus in the live chat, but only 2. Listen, I'll take 286 thumbs up. I'll take it. That means the algorithm is doing its job. But listen, if we got 300 in the chat, let's match the chat with the thumbs up. Nah, but we got to get out of here, man. Pete Weiner says 13 and 4. I wish. That means we at the top of the division. That means we get a bye week and we get a playoff game at MetLife if we do something like that. I'm all for that. Don't know if it's gonna happen though. Don't know if it's gonna happen, man. Shout out to everybody here. I'm about to close this thing down. I think I got all the chats. We've gone for 2.5 hours. Half an hour longer than we normally do. Again, if this is your first time on the channel, if it's not your first time on the channel and you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Again, the channel is growing and it's all because of you guys. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.